I am ready now.
Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
And what can we expect? Surprises.
Engineered by Jay Timko and produced by Eric Fady. And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hey, everybody. Good day. Good day, sir. God damn it, good day. What is this, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Are we at Wednesday? We midweek already? Welcome to the Detroit Cast on a Wednesday, everybody, with Mike and Jay. Big E sitting here as well. How you doing, man?
Quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm doing
Doing a
all
long
right.
day today of
I did.
Detroit Cast filled tasks.
I was Detroit casting all day.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was weird.
out of the house all day long.
Dude, I was out of the house most of the day. It sucked. I'll get into that in just a sec too. We'll mention what my day included, which is hardly interesting, but it's fun anyways. Dare I say a big show though. We got we'll get to the billionaire pimp. We mentioned him the other day with Prince Andrew.
Yes.
More information on that. We've got a New Mexico lotto issue. Foreign country, I know, but still. Pam and Tommy, we've been sitting on this story for a few days. It was in, I think, Rolling Stone, kind of the backstory of how that sex tape got out, which really launched the celebrity sex tape thing.
Yeah, it was a different world before that.
It was, and it's interesting to read about how that went down and what happened. Kids, the coddled kids of today, we'll get into some of that. A New York City medical examiner, and we've got our boy Gary, who deals with death.
Gary, the dead body expert.
The dead body expert, and this kind of goes in line with that. We'll explain later. Also, we've got a FOIC, our first FOIC, Jay.
Oh, geez.
Father of the Year candidate, in my opinion. I'm going to put it up. I'm going to nominate him for FOIC, and I'll leave it up to you to decide if it falls under the FOIC category.
Dude, that sounds a little weird.
It sounds suspect, doesn't it?
Yes.
I'll explain when it comes up, but I think we might have our first Father of the Year candidate. We've got a brat killer and some cop stories. I did want to start and on a sad note, really sad note, as a matter of fact. People that are familiar with this show, people that are really big into the Drew and Mike history, the Drew and Mike show, will recognize the name David Height. And we talked about David, God, a couple months ago.
A couple months back, he was in the hospital with some issues. Yeah.
Appendix, was it?
I think so.
Something like that. And then he got pneumonia. Well, he passed away. Was it today or yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
Very sad.
This show is not big enough to be losing listeners, and especially one as prominent as David Height. He was one of the frontline soldiers, man.
Huge supporter.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook, you'll recognize the name. He always posted under that avatar with the Beatles. You know, the four of them in sunglasses, really recognizable. But he's a good guy. You know, he seemed really supportive of the show. I know he supported Kickstarter. He would message me from time to time with some advice like get Ritalin immediately. You know, stuff like that. But yeah, just a nice guy. I know I could tell from his posts that he was a foster parent. And to me, that says a lot about a person. I mean,
I could take that on. I just couldn't do it.
No, that's just the definition of selfless. You know, it's one thing to be a parent, but to take on other people's kids, you know, and take on that responsibility and help in that way is amazing. So
it sure is.
Big heart. He's going to be missed. I wanted to read just a little.
It either means you're a giant pedophile or you're just a super good person. I'm assuming David falls into the good person category.
Yeah, the latter.
Yeah. You know, it's funny too, because doing a show like this, especially grassroots as this one is, where we're just starting out and trying to get a foothold into this business and try to make our own way, and we're figuring it out as we go. It's taken on a whole new meaning for me, because I came from a place where the show had this humongous audience, and you could just
you couldn't even fathom picking out one or two people. And
like you'd recognize the Paul Johnstons of the world who would send porn every day. Like you would just like every day there'd be 20 new emails from him, and it stood out. But for the most part, people just got mixed in with the minutia, and it was like there were for certain people, and you'd meet people, and for the first time in my career, there are legitimate people that are fans of this show, and I don't know why it means more to me now. Maybe it's just because it's such a personal thing, and it's just such a small group right now. I see every single person that posts on behalf of this show. I see every single person. We do. E does. We see every single person that makes mention of this show, whether they're critical of something or they're slamming E or they're just sharing this because they love this show and want it to do well. So these frontline guys that every day, the Jim Foxes, the David Heights, that go out of their way, and I don't mean to exclude anyone or not include anybody, because there's a bunch of them. Just for conversation's sake, I don't know why Foxy's name popped in my head, but those people stand out so much to me because they're they're championing for the cause.
Huge supporters. Yeah.
Huge supporters in so many ways. They listen to every minute of the show. They can't wait to tell us how it gets them through a tough time if they're going through some shit in their life.
And they want to help you out. Like I'm looking at messages that I had with David, over the last few months, and several of them are, dude, where's the online flyer? I've asked you several times to put an online flyer. I want to pass it out and tell people about the show, and I'm like, dude, I'll get on it.
He's going to be livid with you because you still haven't done that for him.
Well, E took that one swipe, remember, at the flyer. They're over there on the drum kit still.
The greatest flyers ever, by the way. David would have appreciated those flyers, just as he had a twisted sense of humor.
Yeah,
like anybody that's a fan of this show has to have a twisted sense of humor, which is funny because I ran into another situation today where I was getting our new banner printed up, and it's sitting over there on the table, and so I went to my usual store, and this is the problem with the way things have gotten now, where you don't have the jeans hardwares dominating the world anymore, where you go in and if there's
personal
a problem,
service,
like, dude, I went to one of the major chain places, and you go in, and if there's a problem, like I had a situation where I went there this morning, and I had to drive 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get to this place, and I brought it in our preferred format, in our vector format, which is also their preferred format, so that you can blow something up and it doesn't lose resolution, it doesn't get all pixelated. That's how you do it. You have smart people put it in a vector format and blow it up for you, and then so I get some idiot there who can't handle this task. And it's like, oh yeah, we've got our expert here who can take care of you, sir. And it's like, okay, I've gone to this place and printed numerous banners of the Drewcast one, the original Detroit Cast one that's still up here. And she absolutely, this overwhelms her. She can't handle it. And part of me, I just wanted to go, the fuck is wrong with you? Are you retarded? Like, this is your department. This is what you do. And I've brought you our preferred format, your preferred format. This should be
what
as
more
simple
do you want?
As
you print banners.
Click, print, done. Give it to me in 20 minutes when it finishes printing. I'll be on my way. It was over. And what does she do? Which is what all people do. They pass the buck. It's like, well, Sean will be here at 1. He can probably help me. It's like, okay, great. But it's 9 a.m. I don't want to come back here at fucking 1 to deal with Sean because you're incompetent. But I didn't even bother because I knew she's just some dope. I know.
This fucking bone.
I know.
You got
the worst time.
God.
Yeah, I wanted to give her a toy so that she would
tell a story.
That she would leave us alone and not eat her bed over there.
She's just been going.
It's not distracting at all.
I know. Sorry, you guys. Throw it over there.
Okay.
Take the bone from her.
Throw her a bone, dude.
Touch it.
I don't want to touch it.
She's like, I don't want him touching me. Get him away from me. Get him away from me.
Her and she just got up and left.
She
remembers
go over there and go,
yeah,
Poos, come here.
She remembers yesterday's ear pull. She's scarred.
Call her. She's a dog. She does remember the ear pull, Jay. Yeah. You're right. She winced and howled.
Izzy.
Poos.
Izzy.
Come here.
Izzy, come.
Right.
Fucking ridiculous.
She's wagging her tail. She's having a blast right now.
This is so professional.
Yeah, absolutely. This whole thing is not professional. Nothing about this is professional grade. Hardly anything anyways. So anyway, I didn't bother like scolding this woman because I knew, okay, like any place like this, she makes $8 an hour. She's got no stake in this at all.
She
couldn't give a fuck less if I bought it there. If I went, you know what, I'm going to go down the street because Office Depot can take care of it. She'd
like, Bye.
Knock yourself out.
Takes
fag.
a problem off my plate.
Yeah, whatever. I told you Sean will be here at 1. Kindly fuck off. That's what she'd be thinking. So I just walked away just like, well, I guess I'll come back at 1 and see Sean. I mean, what else am I going to do? It doesn't matter. And I find that everywhere with phone service.
Dude, we went through so much of that with Gab Space that, we just opened earlier in the week. We're trying to get all these ducks in a row.
Live Fit.
Live Fit. It's not aerobics. Listen, look. No, so.
Oh, and my name's not Webster, asshole. See how that feels? It sucks when someone just knows what the truth is and they don't care and they still throw it in your face.
You're going to let me tell the story?
Sorry, go ahead.
So part of the floor is rubber, part of it's turf, part of it's cement. So the turf, everything gets ordered months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the turf is supposed to ship on December 9th. We don't get it by the 15th. We're wondering, okay, what's going on? We know the holidays are right around the corner. We start to worry. Gab starts emailing, starts calling. We're told that only this one person can answer the question. Only one,
Yeah, of course.
And she's just dodging calls. She's just, eventually her mailbox is full.
Yeah.
You can tell that she's opened the email. It's bullshit. And then finally we get to Christmas. Of course, she's gone between Christmas and New Year's.
Yep.
She's going, leading up to this, she's like, I'm opening this place, January 1.
Yeah.
This was supposed to ship on the 9th. You've charged my credit card. What the hell,
Yeah.
Nothing. Yesterday, she gets an email. Your turf shipped yesterday.
Oh,
Silent,
as if she just got it.
Yeah.
And,
No, like, hey, sorry for the inconvenience. No explanation. Just your turf shipped yesterday.
yeah.
Fuckers.
Yeah. No,
But you're
thanks.
right. Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody
They
does.
have no stake in it. It doesn't matter unless they're the business owner themselves.
Yeah.
It
They don't
doesn't
care.
friggin' matter.
And it's so frustrating because that whether, if you go to a little mom and pop diner, there's a good chance that the owner is serving you the food or his daughter or son or uncle or cut. Like, it's a family run operation from head to toe. And they honestly care. There's a new Middle Eastern place that opened down the street. I walked in the door and you could just tell from the vibe in there that it's family owned. The guy comes walking up to me. He's like, this is what we have on the menu. Here's our chicken shawarma. And this is the beef. Here, sample it. And he's pulling down samples for me to try. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was like, you would never get that service at a Denny's. Nobody gives a shit in a Denny's.
That's why you got to support places like that.
I know, but they seem to pop up and then go away just as fast.
Yeah.
Like everybody says that. Oh yeah, you have to support those local mom and pops, otherwise they won't be here, and we'll be run by Best Buys of the world.
It's true,
but nobody supports them. Every time a great Mexican place pops up, it's like, well, you better go there the next 2 weeks because they're going to be closed in 3.
Yeah,
and that's just what I find. It sucks, man. It sucks because I want to tear into someone and go, God damn it! Find someone. There's a whole giant store. Find some asshole in here who can fix this. Do I have to call an IT guy in here to fucking show you how to do this? This isn't rocket science, but I know they don't give a shit. They don't care.
You remember, Mike? You remember being in that position?
Yes.
I'll get our PVC expert right now, Jay.
Jay is our PVC. This is the guy you're looking for. And then Jay would just walk into like, what is this asshole lining me up for? And then it would come back tenfold.
Yeah.
The next an hour later, be like,
expert.
Yeah, our glass cutting expert is right over here. Mike, this is my associate, Mike. He's our glass cutting expert. I'm like, oh, really? I'm our glass cutting expert. Okay, interesting. And then it was like, whose glass am I going to fuck up today?
Exactly. And then you see the customer, and we're talking about Gene's Hardware, of course. You see the customer like leave. He's happy. He's got his glass cut. He thinks exactly right. He walks in 40 minutes later. You're like, fuck. Hide in the back room. Hide in the salt room, whatever.
Having pellet fights in the back room. Like, oh, yeah, our glass expert left for the day. That's really rare that would happen. I'm terribly sorry
it's a
about
quarter
that.
inch off. Fuck. I don't know how that happened.
It's weird. So it just wouldn't fit in the pane then, right? Is that the problem? Oh, wow.
It's pretty close. I mean, just a quarter inch.
You sure you don't want to just run some duct tape on there and tape it into place?
There were some messed up weekend projects back in those days.
Yes,
for sure.
PVC. It's our PVC expert.
Speaking of frustration with store clerks, just to harken back to David Height real quick. One of these messages he sent me, he says, I called in 2 prescriptions to Kroger last week. Got a call that they were ready. Went to the store and only one was there. The next day I get another call that my prescription was ready. So I pulled up to the driveway and the light says closed. So I park the car and go inside. I walk up to the pharmacy and ask them if the drive-through is broke. They say no. Then a car pulls up. The lady says, oh, we forgot to turn the sign on. Sorry. He says, out of my mouth comes, God damn it, woman. And I left.
That's
Good
awesome.
for you, David.
His poor wife too. when information comes down about where everything is, I'm not, make sure someone forward that on to us so we can pass it on to everybody. I'm sure there are plenty of people that are familiar with David. And I know just from, you can tell when the comments come scrolling in and people are all saying the same thing. Like, wow, I had great conversations with him over the years about the show. He was one of those experts and knew everything. And so, yeah, it's just the flag at Radio for One Studios is definitely flying at half mast today. So, yeah, anyway, sad day for sure, but we'll pass information along as soon as we get it. Next, while I was at the store today, I ran into another situation where they printed the banner and fucked it all up, just butchered it. I mean, they cut off half. Like,
how do they even hand that to you?
Dude,
like, you won't notice. It's like handing a guy a piece of glass 1/4 inch too short.
Yes.
How do you do that, Mike?
But if you could see that the glass was a 1/4 inch too short,
you wouldn't hand it to him.
Still try to hand it off to him where he's going, where you then put it on the customer to go, hey, dick. And it's like all choppy on the bottom. It's all fucked up and butchered up, and it's like cutting off half a word, and it's like
it took the
really?
T off.
They did. They snipped the
Detroit
T.
cast.
The now available on iTunes. We put it in the bottom right corner on the new one, and they cut off like
part of
the bottom of it and
logo.
the side of it, the logo of it. It was just like it looked like such shit. I didn't even want to say anything. It was like so bad. It was like I'm just waiting for them to say, well, clearly this is our test run. We'll get back on this immediately and get you your new banner. And no, they didn't.
Just rings you up.
It was just like, yeah, good to go. I'm finished with this. And I just went, yeah, no, you're not. No, we're going to try this again because this looks like total shit. And he went, all right, yeah, you got me. Yeah, it does. All right.
What a dick.
But then African-American gentleman couldn't have been nicer. I mean, he was really nice. I was talking to him for a bit. And then he goes, hey, man, what radio station you work for? And I went, I don't work for a radio station. I used to. And then it's like, fuck. It's all that's going through my head because I know what's coming next. Where do I find it, man? I'm going to check it out. And I don't know what to say at that point because it's like,
what's the problem, Mike?
Well,
spread the word, dude.
The problem is I think I'm a little hesitant to think what an African-American gentleman would do or think if he tuned into this show.
You don't think we have African-American listeners?
Do you?
Of course we do.
I hope we do, but I would hope that the African-American listeners that listen to this show and listen at length for any reasonable amount of time would understand what we do here, and that it's not because I make jokes about, oh, racist this and call me a racist. Let's call Nan and have him pick at us for being racist. Like,
by the way, we do need to do that. We'll do that tomorrow, man.
We'll do that tomorrow. I do say stuff like that, but I honest to God, I don't feel like I have a racist bone in my body. I really don't. I don't look sideways at an interracial couple. I don't think twice about walking on the street and seeing a group of black guys and going, oh, I better cross the street. This appears unsafe. Like, those thoughts honestly don't cross my mind. I just call things out that I see in the news and the way it's reported. I know how the news cycle works, and I know what they're doing with their shit stirring. And I that shit bothers me enough that we bring it up and talk about it. That's really all it is. But I know there are differing opinions. But I think if you were to take a random black guy off the streets who's never heard of this show and then plug him in and they hear me or you blasting off about me or you blasting off about, God damn it, knock that shit off. It might seem rather offensive. So if said individual was listening, hey dude.
So did you tell him how to find it? Or not?
Yeah, of course I did. Of course, it would have been racist not to. But I do preface it with, I got to be honest, man, the show's not for everyone. Is that if you're easily offended, you might not want to tune in. He's like, nah, man, I love that shit. I was like, you say that now. I said, well, good luck, man. I hope you enjoyed it. He's like, no, he seemed to absolutely know how to find it. And
good deal.
Yeah.
Hey, you posted that picture right before the show, you know, where it was just me and you.
Yeah.
Holding the
We wanted to
Detroit
do
Cast
everything we could to make sure E wasn't in it.
Yeah.
That was the goal, and I think we accomplished it.
And David Helm chimes in, please support my gay friend and his retarded lover.
I saw someone else said I needed a shower. I took a shower.
Yep, Mike needs a shower.
I can't go the whole day without taking a shower. Unlike certain people in this room, much like Izzy, E, those individuals don't need showers, but once every couple months.
Shower today?
Yes.
Did ya?
Well, every time if I work out,
You
I
ran
shower.
Planet Fitness?
Yeah.
When was the last time you washed your hair?
Now that I don't know.
You can't claim a shower's been taken if you don't
think I
put
can.
shampoo in the hair.
I think I can.
He's trying to look like the Boston Bomber.
I can.
You
Still,
think so?
That's what he's going for.
No, I just need to get my hair cut again. That's all.
Yeah. Well,
I can claim that. I just body wash my body.
dude, would you consider yourself showered if you jumped in the pool? I think you would.
No, because the chlorine is kind of smelly and you smell like chlorine.
So if it was a saltwater pool, you would think that counts.
Yeah, I guess. Why
Give you a
not?
whitewash in the snowbank. That counts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Can arrange that.
I showered. I'm not sweaty and stuff. I mean,
I just don't get the whole washing of the hair thing. That still blows my mind more than anything. The wiping of the ass and the washing of the hair.
No, they say though, and he's right. You're not supposed to wash it every day. It takes out the natural oils and it makes it brittle and
Jay, they say that you're supposed to wash it like every other day or every couple
right.
days.
No, and
He's
that's what I was
gone
about to say.
Months.
Yeah.
We're talking, Jay, honestly, E, when was the last time you put shampoo in your hair and wet it?
trying to think, man.
Dude.
I'm trying to think.
He has to think. Jay, for you, it was when?
Be about 8 hours ago.
Yeah, me too. E?
What did I do? I must have done something where I full on washed my hair. You know what? I know for a fact I did it before the live show we did.
Got all
I must have
prettied
done
up.
it before that.
We
though,
were in
after
short sleeve shirts when we did that show, by the way.
that. Yeah, that was before Thanksgiving.
Well before.
Well before Thanksgiving.
No, you know what? I showered before
That was
the night
before
out.
Halloween,
I
dude.
showered before we went out that night on the limo. Too.
Oh, the piss drinking night?
Yes.
Okay.
You did and washed hair?
Yes.
Okay, when was that?
So dude
That
hugged me
might have
about
been
50 times.
That might have been
Yeah.
the last time.
That
Kept
might have
hugging me. God, he kept hugging me. That's
Incredible.
so strange. But
incredible. Anyway, why don't we get to some of these news stories? And did you hear about this flight going back to Utah? And this is one of the JetBlue flights where, remember when they had offered law enforcement officers out there, anyone that wanted to attend Ramos or Win Lu's funerals,
right.
they would let them fly for free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a couple officers from Utah took them up, 3 officers actually, flew on a flight and went to New York and went to that funeral and turned their back on de Blasio. And then they're flying back and the woman comes over the PA and says, just wanted you to know. Sorry.
Thank you for flying JetBlue today. Just wanted you to know, this is the safest flight of the day. We've got 3 of America's finest cops on board. You'll never be on a safer flight. Enjoy.
And then,
It's a good thing they were there.
yeah, well, you got, they were flying for free, by the way. And this woman on their flight was separated from her husband. And I don't mean like, I don't know. Well, I don't know if they mean like he was sitting here and she was sitting here, or if they mean she was separated.
I think they were the latter.
You think they were getting
Yes,
divorced?
Yes.
Okay. So they're
Given
separated
what
from
she
her husband.
does, yeah. That's what.
She begins acting out in a rage on this flight. At one point, she started taking pills and writing a suicide note. I would have let her finish.
Yeah.
Like finish your thought, pen your thought, finish your bottle. I would have been like tipping the bottle into her mouth. Come on.
When a
You get a few more in there.
doctor starts to help her and she starts biting the doctor.
Yeah, she got really combative. She's spitting, biting,
Picturing
kicking.
Exorcist chick, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
nutty.
flipping out. So these cops intervene. They restrain her. And of course, they have to divert the flight to Chicago.
Ugh.
So all these people are delayed 9
Why?
hours
Why?
because she's an asshole.
No,
That's
why
why.
do you really have to divert
I know,
the flight?
zip tie her
Like, who the-
ass, you know?
We've seen that before.
Just zip tie her.
Would you be
Duct
sitting on-
tape her.
Yeah. You're right. Just
Why inconvenience the other 100 people on the plane?
If you took a poll, don't you think if they said, hey, you guys, would you rather have her?
Nobody,
Right.
and I mean nobody would say, yeah, let's pull over in Chicago and just make sure everything's okay. They would rather kill her in mid-flight and get home on time than stop in Chicago for 9 hours.
No, it's because she ingested the pills, right? And she was starting to show some sort of sign.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, God, we got to bring this bird down.
I think she was showing signs as they landed in Chicago. So I don't know if that's the reason why they did. I think anytime there's a disturbance in the air, it's like, get it on the ground.
Yeah.
This cop says, I just grabbed the pill bottle out of her hand and the note she was going to put on her lap, and it explained what she had done to kill herself. A doctor tried to help her out. She starts biting him, as you mentioned. She's a 32-year-old from Long Island, okay? They haven't released her name. The woman was able to swallow some of the drugs, and they started to take effect when they got in Chicago. She was asking for help at that point and wanted her daddy.
Daddy,
Please, daddy. She wanted her stomach pumped, and she wanted daddy. Oh,
we'll have to call this bitch when they release the name.
What a cry for help. Ugh. Poor officers. God.
Seems like daily there's a story in the national news about these planes being diverted and people, God, it just flying sucks now.
If you're going to Chicago, would you rather drive or fly? Because they're about the same distance.
Drive.
I'd rather drive.
Yeah.
A second.
I mean, seriously. You like flying?
No, I don't like flying. But it's still, why would you? I mean, just Chicago. Why would you?
Yeah, I mean, you risk all the delays. It's just.
But you don't need a car in Chicago. I mean, you can literally go to your hotel and cab everywhere, and the city's awesome. But yeah, I'd rather take a car too. Like, I don't want to deal with any of the shit.
Or like I said, the train, man.
Oh, the train.
Yeah,
Train's
awesome,
a very
dude.
viable option.
Oh,
yeah, it is fun. It is fun. We got plenty fucked up on that train ride. When you told that great story about the
crazy fuckers. His old lady left him.
What was that? I don't remember that.
Remember that? I'm trying to study. It was when I was in law school. I'm trying to study. I'm going
finals. Yeah. Was that off the air or on the air?
I swear I don't
I think it was on the air.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I'm not going to retell it. I'm
Okay,
picking up the train in Dearborn. I'm going to see Gab, who was living in Chicago.
Dude, there's
at
no
the time.
way you told us unless I wasn't here.
It's possible you weren't here.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
possible.
Okay.
You can
Thanks
do
for
a
listening to the show when you're not
I
here.
actually always do. I always listen to them on the way. That's the reason I don't think you have. I've listened to them on the way back. Okay, never mind.
you can tell a Cliff Notes version of it. I mean, it's a great story.
Basically, on my way there, thinking I'm going to get a ton of studying done. It's going to be really productive because it's a nice 5-6 hour chunk.
Chicago.
Yeah, nice chunk of time. I'll just get the studying over with, then I won't have to worry about it while I'm there.
While you're on the train,
Right.
you're going to study for that 5 hours.
Right. So even in the train station, I'm studying, and these two just assholes walk in, just
Beavis and Butthead.
fucking Butthead, and they're telling everybody how his old lady left him, so they're going to go party in Chicago, and just telling everybody who will listen, telling the ticket clerk, everybody. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are fucking
Stay away.
just a mess. Yeah, you can tell they're drinking already. Stay away. So I get on, I'm sitting there, and sure enough, assholes sit right across from me, and I'm about to get up, and I just like, no, I'll stay. I'm not going to get up and leave. I'm going to look like an asshole, like I'm trying to get away from him.
Yeah.
Dude, he, of course, reached over. Hey, his old lady left him today, so we're going to go party in Chicago. I'm like, God damn it.
Good for you.
10 minutes into this thing, they're drinking and they're pouring shit for everybody. I'm like, fuck it, man. I just joined them. Just got shitty with these guys. Shitty with the whole car. I mean, it was like 20 people.
Party.
Well, it's
None
that
of us
point,
knew each other.
right.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that lady, I'm going to see Jenny Jean.
Yeah. She was going to see Jenny Jones,
Yes.
the Jenny Jones show.
What?
Jenny Jean. I'm going to see Jenny Jean. God.
So they end up
Mess.
getting wasted, and then he gets to Chicago, and Gab's there to pick him up.
I'm just like laying on the floor. She walks up. She's like, what happened to you?
Get your studying done, honey.
Got nothing done. Got
How'd you do
3
it?
minutes done, man. It was ridiculous.
That's hilarious. So did you have to end up having to study at Gab's? After
Yes.
that? Yeah. Between
God damn law school.
by the way, remember the cops we were talking about yesterday in San Francisco, and I was declaring it suicide by cop?
Dude, it sure was.
It was suicide by cop.
Left a note and everything.
Yeah, on his phone, on his cell phone. He left a few suicide notes on his cell phone. This is the guy that had one of those airsoft pistols with the color tip removed or colored. A lot of people take a black Sharpie to the orange tips. That's what I did with mine.
And he approached the cops, showed him in the waistband, and kind of made a move toward it. And they let him have it.
He's the guy that went to the police station earlier in the day and was asking them or what kind of guns they use, what kind of ammo they use, and if they'd ever been involved in a police officer shooting. And they weren't answering his questions. They're like, beat it, dude. And so they've got this restricted to the public parking lot, but it's open just so cops can come and go. And he was standing there preventing them from leaving. And when they asked him to leave, he starts backing away and he pulls up his waistband and shows the butt of the gun and then pulls it out, at which point 2 cops open fire, shoot him 3 times. He ended up dying. And
why do you do that to the cops? You know,
well,
it's just
obviously
you're out of your mind, depressed to start with,
or something. Yeah.
Or psychotic, whatever. But
but I immediately said suicide by cop is all this is. This is just, you're putting it in someone else's hands to do this. It's very selfish. So he left behind several suicide notes in his cell phone, including one addressed to the police. And his dad said that they could release it to the public. And part of the note from Matthew Hoffman, who was 32 years old, said, "Dear officers, with the permission," in the note, he said, "The officers ended the life of a man who was too much of a coward to do it himself. Please don't blame yourself. I used you. I took advantage of you."
Wow.
Yeah. Would that make you feel any better?
No.
Someone watching us right now already emailed. Yeah, you told that story, Jay. Big E is too busy sucking old wrinkly stalks.
Hey,
March on, fuckers. Thanks, Orlando.
Hearing it. Sorry.
I knew I did.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Settle down, E.
That was bad for the show, E.
Did we get he got super upset yesterday.
Oh, did he?
I mean, he literally
unreasonably so.
If you didn't see it, and I don't know if he's on camera, he's usually not on the camera. I don't know why. We should have him on the camera because he's always scratching his balls or picking his nose or drooling. He is absolute fodder. We should have him more on camera. But he was starting to take his headphones off and charge before he realized, oh yeah, that's Jay. He could kill me. And caught himself. Luckily, I think you should have charged him personally.
Of course you do.
I think you should have, because you never know, dude. If you got a good punch in, maybe you'll keep Jay and knock him into his place, and then he won't bother you anymore. Because I feel the tension between you two, and maybe that's all it would take. It's kind of like the bully in school. You knock the bully in the mouth.
Yeah, maybe.
And then he doesn't bully you anymore. And Jay's kind of a bully towards you. So
it's probably what would happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have taken that swing. I'm disappointed you didn't. But maybe next time you'll get the balls to do it.
I will never, ever. I don't know. I can't believe
you lunged
I
an
literally
inch.
Did start to take off my headphones. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
How much further would he have had to have gotten, Jay, before leg sweep, throat punch? Broken nose.
I'm not going to exactly define where that's going to be. I'm just going to let him experience it. Yeah, I'm going to hold that card back.
Do you remember how fast he was on top of you and beating you senseless that one time he attacked you?
Yes.
E? Do you remember? I didn't even see him. It was like the Flash. All of a sudden, you were down, your glasses were askew, and you were being beat.
Turtle.
Yeah, Lemieux.
I'm a pussy. I don't know. Whatever. I wasn't going to fight back.
But wasn't there an email from someone about...
Yeah, grab him off the printer, will you?
Yeah. Sorry, folks. Hang with us.
Yeah, we were in a
This'll
bit
be
of a
worth it.
rush today.
Yeah. Poos.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, this one. Tommy writes in, and he includes his prior email, which I do remember very vividly. He says, "Gentlemen," and E, I've included a prior email.
I love that, by the way. That's such a subtle diss. Gentlemen, and E.
A lot of people do
Everybody's doing that.
Wow.
What are you going to do, E?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, and E, I've included a prior email from December 8th below. It was sent exactly 29 days ago. To put it another way, exactly one menstrual cycle ago.
Oh, shut
I only wanted to send this email as a reminder of how consistent Big E's cycle is, so you all can be prepared each month as his PMS violence is clearly escalating. The inevitable shooting rampage is moving closer. Jay, do some extra pre-show stretching for the shows recorded between February 4th and 8th. You might need to have that leg whip ready during the next cycle. I would ask Mike to do the same, but we all know how dangerous stretching can be. Keep up the good work. Insert Normcore statement about stocks and Big E here.
Mhm.
Ciao, Tommy. Thank you, Tommy. That absolutely is true. I didn't identify.
It's remarkable.
It's 3 months in a row.
3 months in a row where he has turned into
The first week of the month.
monster.
Yeah.
He was literally at the top of his lungs screaming, "Fuck both of you! Fuck both of you!" Like screaming at us yesterday. I mean, I don't even remember what the argument was about. It was so small. It was just such a
little.
Oh,
in
shut
passing
up.
thing. I mean, it was
Oh,
just.
You asshole.
He
In
started it, I
passing.
think, if I remember right.
I think so too. That's what I was going to say. I wasn't going to say it because I didn't want E to lash out again, but
Okay.
it seemed like something he
In-
started.
in
And
passing.
it seemed like it was just an in passing comment, and all of a sudden, boom, ease off
Yeah.
on fire.
Headphones coming off, standing up.
Yeah, screaming at the top of his lungs. Well, I don't even remember what the argument was about. It was so minuscule. What was it?
Yeah, neither do I. Crazy. I don't know.
See, you're off your cycle. He's got a man cycle. He's like, it's only like one day, and then he's back to normal.
It is remarkable, though. It's 3 months in a row.
Yeah,
And I wonder if we go back the month before that, if
I guarantee it.
you'd see similar.
It's funny because you started to like get worried, like probably 8 months ago or 6 months ago. You were starting to pick up this trend of like every once in a while E comes in and it was like, is he drunk today? Remember that? Where it was like
yeah.
he gets all fucking like all of a sudden he can't take a joke and he gets all defensive and
Pissy, yeah.
pissy and moany and bitchy, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word. But bitchy comes to mind.
God, that is ridiculous.
See?
That's ridiculous.
Well,
like
He tries to tell me. That was ridiculous.
That was uncalled for and over the line.
That, sir, was ridiculous.
I have never, ever came in here in a bad mood. Ever.
Bullshit. Come in here hungover. You've come in here drunk.
Hungover and drunk is not a bad mood.
You have definitely come in here in a bad mood, you son of a bitch.
Well, okay, with the Lions sometimes at sporting events or something.
No, just little bitchy things.
By the way, for your menstrual cycle, there's a new study out that says if you're a smoker and a woman, that the best time for you to quit smoking is right after your period.
Well, I don't smoke, so I guess.
Right after your period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call it the oh God. They say if your nicotine cravings are strongest after your period, gross. You're not alone. According to a new study, it says women looking to quit should take that into account or take into account their menstrual cycle and start the process just after ovulation. Our data reveal that uncontrollable urges to smoke are stronger at the beginning of the follicular phase.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. That begins after menstruation. Hormonal decreases of estrogen and progesterone.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Possibly deepen the withdrawal syndrome and increase activity of neural circuits associated with craving. To minimize withdrawal symptoms, the mid-luteal phase is the best time to quit. The mid-luteal phase. So, E, you could be in the mid-luteal phase right now after yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were a smoker, I'm not saying you are, but if you were, the mid-luteal phase is when you'd want to quit. Which
yeah, you've now shed the lining of your uterus.
Right. Which is known.
Why did you have to do the motions like as if it's like
shedding?
Well, at the beginning of the follicular phase that you just went through yesterday morning,
it was like this. I don't think the girls are not like
shedding.
Not like a
From the
snake
uterus.
shedding skin or something. Like it's a bodily function, right?
it was the follicular phase that you went through early yesterday. But now that you're on to the next stage, the mid-luteal phase, as it were,
We're in the clear.
we should be in the clear.
Okay.
Well, for the next 4 weeks, literally to the day.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, his hormones are askew, but we'll try to deal with that. Hey, did you see that story? I don't know. It was about a former female astronaut. This came out a couple weeks ago. I remember seeing the headline. I didn't really read it closely, but she was saying something like back during a mission, she was supposed to be up there for 7 days, and NASA engineers presented her with 100 tampons. They're like, will this be enough for you? She's like, yeah, that'll be enough.
Dude, I wouldn't know. Like, how often do you have to pop those things out?
Not freaking 20 times a day.
You don't? I don't know. I would have given her 200.
What would
I
you
don't
guess,
know.
E?
I don't know and I don't want to know, dude.
How many times do you have to change the Moxie pad?
Yeah, he's more of a pad guy. He's more a Moxie pad.
Yeah. Do
You
you like
don't like
wings?
his insertion?
No. I'm a male. I have a penis and a butthole.
But you've been working on that
said
gay
a penis
voice.
and a vagina.
I know.
You almost said a penis and a vagina.
I know.
And he has been working on that gay voice. He's got it.
Yeah, you do.
Got
have
it,
that.
E.
You've been
Shut
working.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely. No, I don't know, man. Maybe I mean 5 a day. I don't know.
You don't know either. You son of a
Why
bitch.
would I?
So 7 times 5 would be 35. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
I'm not gonna
that far
hand her
off base.
100.
Well, you never know. I mean, maybe
Am I way off base? I don't know. dude.
I don't know. There's no one in here we could ask. Is he? How many times? She wouldn't know.
I mean, during your
Oh shit! Yeah.
What?
dude, whiteboard pen.
Damn it, is he?
So she's not hacking on the bone.
I bet if we had one of those Google machines, we could figure it out.
Yeah,
But we don't. So
we
never
got
mind.
heavy flow.
Oh my god.
Number of
I'm looking
tampons
it
per
up.
day.
I will, but
You've probably looked it up before.
I've not looked it up. Why the hell would I have looked that up before?
I don't know.
He's
What
in
is- just a
guess.
demonstration.
What is it gonna say? What is the
Say heavy flow, number of tampons per day.
Go Google, enter, submit. By the way, remember the cops that were that shot over the weekend or Monday in New York that were wounded? One was in
Yes.
critical.
Now that didn't have to do with like an execution style deal, did it? It was more of a robbery.
It was a robbery, yeah. And 2 cops were shot. They were plainclothes, but cops nonetheless. Dossie is the one guy's name. Andrew Dossie and Aliro Pellerano. And they're still in the hospital. And the one, I guess it was Dossie.
Oh, God.
His father, I guess Bratton, the commissioner, the police commissioner,
Mhm.
showed up 3 times to their, just in support. And the second visit he paid, he brought de Blasio with him. And this guy's dad was like, my kid was not happy
Wow.
that this fucking asshole showed up in the hospital where
he's
where
got
my son was
problems.
shot. Yeah.
He has got problems.
How funny is that? He deals with some crappy people every day and getting no support from the mayor. Come on. These are the guys in the trenches dealing with anything and everything. He was, as I said, he was visited 3 times. The mayor came in last night and I told him these guys are laying their lives on the line. This is what the father said. Bratton seemed like a real legit guy. He came in 3 times, and then the second time he brought the mayor with him. The mayor apparently had very little to say. He seemed passive, like he was just listening to what Bratton was saying and what I was saying. He, this Dossie, by the way, regained consciousness after, surgery and all that. And the dad walks over and he's like, I asked him, hey, where's that $20 you owe me? Kids.
Nice.
Yeah. And he said, look, I took it out of your wallet. I didn't think you'd notice. He's just fucking around. By the way, this Dossie, for anyone who isn't aware, he's an Iraq veteran, an Army airborne reservist, and was scheduled to go to Africa in a few weeks. Now his career is potentially at risk.
Wow.
The doctor just told me the bullet in his back just missed his spine. He was shot in the left arm, and the arm just doesn't look good. The doctors expect a full recovery. I just hope it doesn't affect his career. He's Army airborne. He can't jump out of airplanes with a messed up arm. Yeah. Sad. They are questioning 3 guys in that shooting. And of course, they've got incredibly long rap sheets with including felony arms bullshit and
E, what do we got?
class acts.
Oh my god.
Into the mic.
Heavy flow.
I don't know. I saw that this is the best one I could find was honestly from Yahoo Answers, but this one says what is it? The
What's it
average-
say?
2021. You're supposed to change it every 6 to 8 hours, 3 times, essentially around 3 times a day, 7 days. 21.
There we go.
God damn it,
See?
that's disgusting. Why did you make us hear that?
Because you told me to.
So they gave her 5 times too many.
Well, maybe the flow is different
Nerds.
in non-gravity. I don't
Yeah.
know. Could be.
I did not. This is not.
Does that scream men's club or what? That they're
Yeah.
just like,
They're
yeah,
just
like
like,
here's
oh.
100 of them. I mean, that should take care of you, right?
They don't even know if she's on her cycle, She's going to be up there 7 days.
Well, I
We
was
better
gonna
give her
say-
100 tampons.
That's awesome.
I was gonna say when you said that, I'd be shocked to be honest that they would send someone up
Yeah.
under that
Whose,
circumstances anyway. Like,
Yeah.
whose uterine wall is, being shed.
Yeah.
God, that's so gross.
As Mr. Garrison once said, I don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die.
Oh my god. No.
He is,
glad
he
I'm
is
a
just
guy.
so grossed out. Dude, it's part of life, man.
I'm so glad I'm.
She's got to be up there with other people. Could you imagine being confined in a capsule with some chick on the rag for a week. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and with the non-gravity, you hope that doesn't get away from you.
If it did, could you imagine the mess you could have if in zero grav? Wow. There's nothing to drop that shit on the floor. Just go float about. When she plucks it out and
God,
it's just like, you know, there's going to be splatter of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Ow, get back here. She's trying to grab it all as it's floating in the air.
God. Gross.
Sorry, guys, don't come in here. I said don't come in here. I'm catching it all.
Can't get the toothpaste back in the tube. That is frightening to think of that. Just floating about. Just floating by.
What would you do?
A little bit of ovum. Just grab that little piece of ovum there and a little bit here.
Over here.
Oh my God, I could throw up, Jay. Disgusting.
Would you grab a bag and try to catch it?
I think, yeah, that's a good idea.
It's not, yeah.
Like a butterfly net kind of deal.
Yeah.
Trying to catch your ovum as it flies by.
Oh, that's disgusting. Whew. Remember the kid we were talking about yesterday? The kind of the Big E of the hedge fund world.
The very, very rich Big E.
Yeah, the extremely rich Big E. He more and more is coming out about him, and including an interview that his ex-girlfriend gave. And he's the 30-year-old killed his multi-millionaire father,
Allegedly.
Manhattan. Allegedly, yeah. He's the one that came home and I guess he hadn't seen his family since August. And his mom was excited to see him, and he was like,
Go get me a sandwich.
You want something to eat? He's like, no, go get me a sandwich and a soda. And she's like, okay. And she leaves. And she comes back to find her son is gone. Apparently didn't want that sandwich or soda too much. Poos, God damn it. Just all tangled up in my headphones. Asshole.
Ugh.
So she comes back and she calls the cops and she's like, I just ran out for a minute. I came back and my son is gone. And I think he murdered my husband. So he went on this rampage amid a months-long feud with his dad over what he still thought was his rightful due, despite his parents giving him his education and money, subsidizing his, they say, surfer dude, gym rat lifestyle. He regularly bitched that his dad was hypercritical of him. My dad's hypercritical of me.
Father, mother.
He couldn't do anything right. His ex-girlfriend, Anna Rothschild, told the Post yesterday. He talked a lot about his dad and how mean he was to him and how nothing was good enough.
Anna Rothschild?
Yeah.
She doesn't sound rich.
No, not at all, right? He hadn't seen his parents since August and finally had enough when Daddy cut his generous allowance. Senior had been giving him $2,400 a month for rent and $600 a month for spending money.
30-year-old.
Yeah. He was cutting the spending money to $400. And there are reports that it was going to be cut to $300. But apparently the first step was to cut it to $400. They argued about it before. At first, his mom, as I mentioned, was happy to see him. But they believe he tried to make the murder look like a suicide. We've talked about all that. After the killing, though, he went back to his apartment and started watching TV.
Ha.
I don't know if he was watching The Simpsons or Seinfeld.
Oh,
What? He just you got to admit the similarities are striking.
It's not a well thought
there's
out.
one big similarity that's different is the amount of money. My dad.
There's one big similarity that's different. Similarity.
One
That's
difference.
Sorry, Jay.
One
Thank you.
difference in this, I mean, which is pretty huge. And my dad is not a $200 million person or whatever. He doesn't have that much.
Well, this guy managed a hedge fund that big. It didn't mean that's what his net worth was.
Yeah.
Well,
And
nonetheless.
Plus,
I think we
there
may
are-
be overestimating these people. This might be kind of the media throwing this as this hugely rich. I don't know if they are.
Well, he's got
He's got one of these Park Avenue apartments and shit.
Yeah, he's got a Park Avenue apartment. He's
The
got a place in the
Hamptons, they spend time
Hamptons.
in the Hamptons.
He's got a house in
All
the
right,
Hamptons.
They're insanely rich.
He took out he started his own hedge fund and took out a $4 million lien against his house in the Hamptons. He's got one of those club memberships for life where he's hobnobbing with everybody.
So how could he
In the
dare?
Hamptons.
How could he dare cut his son's salary this way? His
Yeah.
salary.
He loaded his own gun, Jay.
Kind of not a very well thought out deal by this kid if he did it, though. I mean, trying to make it look like a suicide, you're risking the insurance money then.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
Yeah.
Dumb move. You got to make it look like a robbery gone awry.
Mm-hmm.
Pull some drawers out, righty?
Yeah.
Dump them on the ground.
They say the
shuffle
kid
through the underwear drawer.
They think he was planning a getaway too. When they got to his apartment, not only was he's sitting there watching TV, but they found an open suitcase with a bunch of clothes in it. So they think he maybe was taken off. At his arraignment on Monday night, prosecutors said this kid was found with a skimming device and 21 blank credit cards too. Real piece of shit. Yeah.
Princeton grad. How many Princeton grads have a skimming device and blank credit cards?
And remember too, they said that he had, I think when we first started talking about this, there was the story about him having a restraining order against him.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What that was, he is the prime suspect in a arson at this mansion in the Hamptons of a rival. And they still say that this, I guess, it happened over the
socialite
summer.
rival.
Yes, exactly.
What a bunch of assholes.
Yep. He was starting his own hedge fund, but daddy wouldn't help him out, and his dad called him stupid. He's very much a loner. His phone never rang. No one texted him or called him. The one time it rang in 4 months while we were together, it was his mother.
That's his girlfriend saying that?
Yeah. He spent most of his time hanging out in the Hamptons. He surfed and went to the gym and went to yoga. He was very fit. So she broke off the relationship in May. She saw him at Christmas. They had drinks together, which means he nailed her at Christmas. That's all that means. He was totally normal. I asked him about the hedge fund. He said it was moving along nicely. He was in good spirits. How could a guy be that gorgeous, that wealthy, that fit, and kill his dad? What an out of touch asshole.
Gorgeous, wealthy, and fit.
How could
He's too gorgeous to murder his father.
Couldn't have done it.
He's too fit. How could someone in such good shape murder his father? It just doesn't make sense. The pieces of this puzzle don't come together properly.
he can do it? Like, what are they? How many push-ups in a row he can do? So he couldn't. Oh.
How shallow do you have to be to think that's what goes into it? Like, well, that could never happen. You could never murder father. I mean, look how fit he is and handsome.
Fit and handsome.
I guess this dad could be pretty controlling with his money. This is what the daughter said. Father could be very controlling with his money.
Father?
Yeah. It's his money. My dad, I've never talked finances with my dad about his money. Ever.
It's why that's so rude at its core, like that's not yours.
No.
Like, I mean, if there's something left when they pass, wow,
good for you.
Yeah, cool.
Right.
But yeah, no part of that is yours. It's such a weird assumption.
Yeah.
And this asshole, he's second generation money. He didn't do anything to earn it,
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. I deserve that.
And the bitter resentment because your dad's expecting you to stand up on your own at some point.
Taking away part of your allowance. It's just, wow.
To the point that you'd murder him, like after all that he's done for you. It's just crazy. So this home that I was mentioning, 17th century house, September 15th, he's still the main suspect, although he hasn't been charged. The house was owned by this millionaire financier, Peter Smith Jr. or Sr.
A historical mansion.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Peter Smith Sr. And his son, Peter Smith Jr. was a rival. Look at that house up in flames.
Oh.
Yeah. His son, Peter Smith Jr. had a falling out with Gilbert Jr. over a chick. Smith
burns down his house.
And he had a restraining order against him for that. They think he also murdered their dog before that.
Oh.
So this guy killed the dog and then torched the house over a chick. The two families knew each other from the exclusive Maidstone Club overlooking the Atlantic Ocean in the Hamptons. But Gilbert Jr. had been blackballed from it after a beef that he'd had. So it sounds like, and other clubs around New York too.
It sort of reminds you of that affluenza defense that was used by that kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's so out of touch. It sounds like he's living in a different world.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll go there.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that. That kid, that worked.
Yes, that was the kid, like a 17-year-old kid, just flying down the freeway, killed a bunch of people, right? Like 4 or 6 people.
Yeah.
In a car wreck. just drunk out of his mind. And they argued, well, he had affluenza, meaning that he just was completely out of touch with the real world because he was so rich and coddled.
Yeah. Which I don't think is a crazy defense in a lot of respects. When you see like Lips, mother, father, that turd who's like thinks life is over at 20 years old because he can't get a piece of ass. And these people like this that think daddy owes him something.
They're not
even
living in the real world.
Even the daughter, his daughter who's heartbroken because her brother basically, apparently, or allegedly just murdered her father. And she makes a comment like, well, he was quite, what did she say, stingy with his money or protective of his money.
Penny is his.
Yeah. Like,
because you happen to be born of these people's loins that you deserve that? How is that?
Yeah. It just doesn't.
Bullshit, man. You're an adult. Go get a job, fuckers.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Hey, speaking of lips, did you see Farrah Abraham's lips?
No.
Teen Mom.
I can't stand Farrah Abraham, by the way.
She got a very botched lip job.
Really?
Let's see if I can find this real quick. It's
lip jobs just have to stop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They just have to stop.
I thought they kind of had, but
no, you still see them.
Oh,
they just never look good. I never see someone and go, wow, that actually works. Holy shit. Why would you post that?
I don't know.
She looks like a duck.
She absolutely looks like
it looks like a vagine.
If it looks like a duck. Wow. No, that's what she looks like. Is that Futurama character?
Yeah, yeah. Peg Bundy.
That's funny.
Looks like she posted that though. Gotta love my new look, and then she put a profile with that.
Wow.
That Futurama character.
Wasn't she the one getting blasted in the ass in that porn?
Yes.
She did, yeah.
Backdoor
yeah, and then she's like, I'm not
Backdoor
a porn
Teen
star.
Mom,
That was just a... She says that was like a stolen sex tape.
Oh, right. She got paid for it, didn't she?
Just had a relationship with what was the guy? Jesse James or...
Was that it? Was that who it was?
So.
Yeah, that could be. Idiot. Oh, she looks like such
God,
an idiot.
that's just... Yeah, you're right, man. Stop that shit.
Yeah, hashtag knock that shit off. Speaking of fathers, this guy that tragically lost his life probably because of his idiot kid. I mentioned earlier our first Foyk.
Yeah, tell me about
Father of the Year candidate. I'm thinking maybe, and I don't know what you would do. Say Mikey comes home and he's just joined a new gang. What do you do in that situation? If you're a father,
gang, a real gang, a street
banging.
gang?
He's banging. He's banging.
He's wearing colors.
Yeah, he's, rumors going around, and
I don't know, Mike.
Do we have a problem with that, or are you just like, hopefully he'll grow out of it?
I'd probably have a problem with that.
You would.
Yeah.
I think I would act like this father does, which is great. I love this. Can you blow it up there, E? His kid joined the 900 Street gang.
Right on him. So we 900 block.
900 block.
You see me clearly? Mm-hmm. He don't gang bang. He's not gonna gang bang. If y'all jumped him in, this is me jumping him out. So put your hands up and we're gonna bang out. And we're gonna bang out that so-called gang. And if any one of you motherfuckers got a problem, y'all can come see me. Anyone, young, old, your big homies, all you motherfuckers. Shoot your shit. Shoot it. I'm not gonna punch you, I'm gonna put D's on you. But you can bang. Let's go. What you gonna do? Put your hands up. Put your hands up. You got the bang in there. You got the bang. Shoot it, nigga. Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it. Pop. You 900. You ain't no pussy, right? You banging, right?
Standing 2 feet away from this kid.
Shoot it. Fucking shoot it. You want to sell weed? You want to sell bud? The homies at the door, at my fucking door. You want to sell bud? I'm not going to put these on you.
I told him to call me.
It don't matter. They at the door looking for ledges.
And I told him I'm not cool with them.
What's poppin'? What do you mean you ain't cool with them no more? We all in your inbox, nigga. What the fuck you mean? You gangster, right? You gangster?
No.
Talk to the camera. You gangster?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Are you fucking gangster?
No.
Let it go. What you gonna be? You gonna sue?
Yes.
You gonna shoot a fucking basketball or something?
Yes.
Ain't no fucking 900 block over here. This is fucking Lumber Street block, nigga. This is what we banging over here. Menders and Scales. We banging Menders and fucking Scales. How about that? Ain't no fucking 900 block. Now again, any one of you motherfuckers coming for my kids, dog, you can see me, man. Big, small, short, tall, your mother's, father's, uncles, aunts, any fucking body, dog. Bring your ass. Because he and none of these motherfuckers over here gonna be part of none of that shit. Get right and keep wrong. Fuck out of here. What the fuck upstairs before I break your fucking jaw?
Stop it.
Oh man. Foik? Do we have our first
I
Foik?
think so. That's sweet.
Isn't that awesome? I can totally respect that.
Beat his kid out of a gang.
Yeah. If y'all beat him in, here's me beating him out.
Wow.
What do you do? What do you do if your scrawny little shit kid comes home and people have like
I mean, it's pretty drastic, but drastic times call for drastic measures.
You hope it doesn't ever get to that point, but I kudos to him, man. First off, that father's involved in that kid's life.
Yep. Cares about him.
Cares about him enough to beat him out of a gang.
That's amazing.
Just shit upstairs before I break your fucking jaw.
And everybody there's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You don't come over here for no motherfucker. Meaning my family.
Yeah. I love it. Aunts, uncles, nephews, bring them over, motherfucker. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Don't go joining the 900 block gang. I think he's going to lose a little street cred with his homies after that
Yeah, he
video.
will, holding his hands up. I'm not in a gang.
I'm going to shoot baskets. Bang it, nigga. Bang it. I'm shooting baskets. That's awesome. More people need to be embarrassed like that to keep their shit straight. Hilarious. Anyway, so congratulations to our first Foik, Father of the Year candidate. There he is. Why don't we take a quick break? Do we have to do a read, Jay? You want to?
Yeah. Hey, the snow is here. So get into a 2014 Ford F-150 4x4 XLT, only $269 a month at Zott Ford. With nearly 100 F-150s available, they have exactly what you're looking for. That's Zott Ford, SZOTT. And I got to tell you, man, these things are great. I just drove mine over today.
I know. I love that truck.
The thing about it, too, dude, I was thinking about this as I'm coming over. I glanced in my back seat to make sure I had my bag. I'm like, glance back there, you see this vast cab behind. I mean, it's an enormous, interior of that truck.
Those F-150s have come so far.
Hell yeah.
Like when I looked when we were going out, I can't remember where we were going. Was it to the remote show? It might have been to the remote show when you and Gab.
Oh yeah,
we went over
by
to Beth's.
Yeah.
And I looked into your truck and it was like, this back seat is bigger than most cars.
Dude, that's our family car.
Yeah.
The F-150.
Yeah.
And it's
I
very
kind of want to get one.
Yeah, they're badass.
Because I got to turn my Lincoln in finally. Thank God, get out from under that payment. And
yeah, all sorts of room in the back. I mean, we used the hell out of it over the last month, hauling shit back and forth. It's just super useful to have a truck. You use it way more than you think you would, even if you're not a tradesman or whatever. I mean, you do use it a ton instead of borrowing people's shit.
Yeah. Well, that's what I worry about though, is people calling me.
Yeah, it happens from time to time.
Yeah, I don't want that. I can't tell anyone I got it then. Don't tell anyone.
Okay.
All right.
You have an inability to say no. That's your weakness. Mike's too nice.
No, I could say no in that situation. I'd let him borrow it. You can have it. You can come over and pick it up and take it, but don't expect me to go with you. And,
no. That's
help with shit.
Yeah, no, that would never be expected.
Yeah.
No, all they would need to do is borrow it.
Okay.
They wouldn't need you on.
And they can do that
because they know you're not going to lift shit.
No. Why don't we take a quick break? And speaking of gangs, we'll tell you about a Mexican drug gang. Maybe this 900 block gangbanger can join this Mexican drug gang. Maybe that'll be better.
Hardcore, man.
Yeah, they're not fucking around. So we'll get into that among other things. Also, this doggy woggy. I love this doggy here. We'll explain this sad dog next. We'll do it next.
The Detroit Cast continues after. The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast on a Wednesday with Mike and Jay. Big E here as well. And we got plenty more things to get to. Why don't we start with this Mexican drug gang I was telling you about? God, the cartels are crazy in Mexico.
It's out of control, man. It's to the point where I don't really even want to go to like a tourist destination.
No, they were targeting tourist destinations for a while. I don't know if they still are, but that's a real problem. When because I felt the same way. I didn't want to go there.
Plenty other places you can go and avoid that.
Yeah. Well, there's this vicious Mexican drug gang, and what they were doing to prove that, or they were looking to root out infiltrators. And so this guy would have you eat the hearts of people they murdered.
Like, yeah, prove yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're the real deal. Eat the heart.
Mhm.
Oh,
Gangs here,
dude.
you get beat in.
Damn it. It's like Temple of Doom shit.
Even if I was like totally on board, like I'm in the gang, I want to fuck some shit up. I'm into this drug thing. I'm not an infiltrator. I'm not from the other team.
Yeah, you can be 100%. You wouldn't want to eat a heart.
No, I'm out. Like at that point, it's like, you know what?
You could be like, yeah, can't I just cut off his dick and stick it down his throat instead?
Like we can take selfies with it. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Like I
wouldn't
wouldn't
eat the heart.
I wouldn't want to eat a heart for a family member.
No. Ugh.
There's no circumstance where I'd want to eat a human heart ever.
Wasn't that in Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom?
They pulled it out. Did
yeah,
he
that dude would go, "Arr," and he'd pull it out.
Yeah.
No, they had to drink the blood, and it made Indy like into their cult. Remember that?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do that either.
No.
Like I'm out. If that's
Drinking
what I got to
blood.
do to get
Dude,
in your gang, forget it.
Do you remember
I'm
the
out.
Survivor episode, or not the episode, but the series? I think they're in Africa where they made them drink the blood of the cows.
No.
You know how they always have one gross one where they have to eat maggots and shit?
Uh-huh.
And I'd be so out then.
Yeah.
Make me
Forget it.
I'd just be dry heaving. I couldn't do
but
it.
you want inmates to eat maggots. I see how you are.
Yeah, they've committed heinous crimes.
Yeah. Some of
But
them.
dude, there was one, I think it was in Africa. It was like the 3rd or 4th season. They like stuck these cows.
God damn it, put it down.
That's not distracting.
No, sorry. Come here, lay down.
That's our Fez coaster.
I know.
The Fezorama.
Dude, I forgot to tell you. I was at the mall, by the way, and we'll get right back to your story.
Did you get us pheasants?
When I was at the mall trying to return, or with Beth when she was returning those giant granny panties I got her. There was a kid wearing a fez with a tassel on it.
Oh,
Like 13 years old. I think I tried to take a picture of him. He was with his whole family. It was straight out of fucking Mr. Cunningham. The exact
the
fez,
Grand Poobah.
the Grand Poobah red fez that Mr. C would wear.
I thought he had like a cheetah print. Am I imagining that?
Was that the water buffalo?
Yeah, it was.
I thought he had a red one.
the water buffalo was Fred Flintstone.
No, I know. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it well, but that's the best I could do with the picture.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay,
See
it's
him?
blurry. Yeah, it's moving.
blurry.
but- God, he's got a fez with a tassel. You're right.
See it?
Yeah,
Is that
I
12 Oaks Mall?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would a kid be wearing a fez?
He's a listener.
Is that what it is?
It's got to be.
I wanted a picture with him. I swear to God, I wanted a selfie with him, but I just didn't know how to go about it.
No, we got this. Where did we get this even?
It was someone sent something to E, of course.
Okay. It's a
It
coaster.
came in with the Simpsons shirt, I'm pretty sure.
Fezorama, established 2005. Fine embroidered velvet fezzes. Yeah, we need to get those
Yeah, we do.
with tassels.
They've got tassels on it. Look at that. There's a
A
tassel
little
on
tiki face on there.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Fezorama.com.
No, the thing I was on was the damn Survivor made him drink blood out of a cow, dude.
Why? Did they have to murder a cow to get it?
No, they just stuck him, and the cow was like fine. The cow's just standing there.
What?
And they had these natives walk up, and they're like, "Oh, this is this indigenous tribe does this as a ritual," and boom, they stick it in the certain point of the cow and then just put a glass underneath and fill it up. And these people are just drinking. I'd be like, no. That's just, God, can you imagine the numbers of diseases and shit you could pick up that way?
Yeah. Why would a cow just stand there, by the way?
No, he was fine, though. He was totally fine.
He was?
He.
It looks like you've got 15 numbers there.
I know it. Okay, crossed out some shit. I don't know.
I asked you to look up a number. He gave me the first person in history with a 13 number digit phone number.
Oh, whatever. The number's there. That's
Okay.
all
All right. So this gang, by the way, operating in this city of Michoacan, La Familia Michoacana, and the Knights Templar cartel were founded by this dude, Moreno, Nazario Moreno, known as the craziest one. That's what that means. The translation is the craziest one. I guess this guy's a fucking maniac. And this is his idea. He uses to root out moles and test men's loyalty. The ritual ranged from dismembering people they intended to kill to sometimes serving up the heart. Out. And then our friends in ISIS, this just coming out, a big gun. One of the guys, and I don't think it was Ali G, unfortunately, but one of the guys that oversaw like a lot of the beheadings.
They found him beheaded.
They found him beheaded.
Nice.
So they've established their own police force. And they basically go around and they look for fucking women showing ankles. The garbage bag doesn't go down far enough. And it's
Grimace is showing ankles.
Exactly. And there's a problem. And then they'll literally arrest you, take you in, and then call like family and say, you need to bring loose clothes to the jail. Otherwise they can't come free. And make them come. Think about that. So this guy was found beheaded with a cigarette in his mouth. I think he's a pretty big dude, powerful dude. He was
you can like jam somebody's lips together and keep a cigarette in their mouth.
I guess. I don't know if it was lit or not or what, but he's an Egyptian, a deputy emir. There were signs of torture. Obviously, he was beheaded. I think that's kind of torture.
Ultimate sign of torture.
Yeah. The morality police, and this guy was in charge of that, enforced Islamic law or Islamic State's edicts by ordering executions, amputations, and other punishments. They've declared that smoking is a slow suicide, and they've passed stringent Sharia laws banning its members from using tobacco, drugs, or alcohol.
How do they feel about vaping?
I don't know. I wouldn't go over there and try it, personally. I wouldn't go over there, period, ever. Every smoker should be aware that with every cigarette he smokes in a state of trance and vanity is disobeying God. They've killed residents for actions such as adultery and blasphemy, which they see as violations of Islamic law. So they allegedly beheaded 4 men in Syria for blasphemy. Police have arrested everyone wearing trousers in the streets, and that's where they tell them to bring loose clothing.
How does pertain to that story?
Because that's no matter where they are, that's going off in the background. Oh,
gotcha.
A French fighter abandoned the terror organization because it was too hard for him to quit.
Asia?
No,
not Asia.
Ooh, me sorry, me no speaking Chinese.
Oh my god,
it drives me crazy.
I know it should.
it's so stupid.
I think he speaks. This guy, I think he was from Korea.
Oh
God,
I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I read that somewhere. This Amir.
I don't feel like Chinese tonight anyway.
No, not China. He was Korean.
Same.
So this French fighter abandoned the organization because it was too hard for him to quit smoking.
That's it. I'm out.
I brought Nicorette gum with me, but it wasn't enough. So I left my gun with my Amir and I left. Nice being so into the cause that just like, fuck it, I can't stop smoking. This sucks. But
Did you say that guy was Taiwanese?
He was Taiwanese.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah. So anyway, they think because this guy was smoking is why he was beheaded and found with a cigarette in his mouth. God, because they said, this is evil, you sheik. There was a note with him with his head.
Jeez,
carrying an
people,
anti.
it's
just brutal. It's
Stone Age,
brutal.
man. Stone Age.
It is the Stone Age. We'll get to the most insane death seen by a New York City medical examiner in just a second, but God, I saw this picture of this little doggy woggy. Oh, look at this guy.
He's a cutie pie.
He's a poos.
Shar-Pei.
He is a Shar-Pei. He's adorable, and they say he's a sad little Shar-Pei. His name's Kai. He was found tied to the railing inside of a Scottish train station with his own suitcase.
Oh, it's like Paddington Bear. Remember Paddington? Paddington's like a little bear. He's like a little English bear. I think he was lost with wasn't he left with a suitcase? I don't know.
This guy's tied up. He's microchipped, and he's got his little suitcase with him, just sitting there.
Somebody just left him.
And they just left him. It was packed. His suitcase was packed with all his worldly possessions.
Well, that's kind of nice.
What were his worldly possessions?
He had a pillow, a toy, a food bowl, and some food.
There's been a lot worse abuse. I mean, that's awful, right? But
look at that little poos.
Could have been a lot worse.
He's sitting there with his suitcase and all his shit.
Let me
oh no! Look at him!
My God.
Look at him! Oh no! Look at him!
He's ready to go.
He is.
He's ready to hit the open road.
How do you know he didn't just run away? Do they know he didn't? Maybe he packed his own shit and left.
Yeah.
Oh no! Look at him.
He got his leash caught on something.
Yeah.
He was on his way onto the train and got tied up on a railing.
He's gonna be way late
There's
for
Paddington Bear. See,
there he is. He's got a suitcase and everything.
Yeah, check him out.
He doesn't look like he's dressed for the elements, though.
He's a little Scottish man. Where's my family? Come on back, family.
If it's not Scottish, it's crap. They said,
got my pillar,
got my pella, my bowl. They've got a microchip. They tracked down his last owner, but that's where the trail went cold. Apparently, his last owner gave him up on their version of Craigslist. So I don't know if this guy's a dick dog or what.
I bet, I'll bet he is.
They said he's got the sweetest temperament. He's super nice.
Huh.
He's 2 to 3 years old, a lovely dog with a nice nature. He's going to live at this homeless shelter there.
Somebody will pick him up.
Yeah, with this going around, absolutely. Until they can find him a new home. If his former owner is found, however, they've got laws there under Scotland's Animal Health and Welfare Act. This guy would be hit with a lifetime ban where they can't have pets anymore.
Wow.
How would they enforce that, by the way? Would they check up on you periodically, make sure you didn't have Tony the cat sitting there?
Yeah, it really would be like a whole nother government administration, you know?
And what does it get down to? Like if you had a goldfish, or they'd be like, oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You can't have the fish. Get a baggie.
He's coming with us. You just hear bagpipes coming down the street.
Moby's coming with us. You can't have him. You know you can't.
You're on the watch list.
What you doing with the fish?
They just have his picture up at all the
Drop
pet
the
stores.
fish.
Do not sell to this man.
Yeah.
There's got to be real crime there. I mean, not that animal abuse is not real crime.
Oh yeah,
it is, but come on. It's like a whole nother layer of government, dude. It's just, I don't know.
I always think about that when people get banned from sporting events too, like the concept, like you're not going to be able to come to Ford Field the rest of it. Like, is anyone sitting there going,
dude, someone chained him to a rail in the train station with his tiny little suitcase.
Honestly, this is good news. Good news out of Scotland. This is good news because that little, I mean, you've seen real abuse, you know, where people just fucking kick them to the curb and
Tori Amos is singing songs about him and shit.
Or they got cigar burns all over their face and shit. I mean, somebody put him in a public place with all his shit. I mean, that's best case scenario.
Poos.
That is best case scenario out of Scotland. Great news.
Great news.
Glad they're reporting some good news.
The best
again.
case would be if the owner actually loved him and kept him.
She did. She or he did. They couldn't afford him anymore.
Yeah, he's an expensive lad. Poor little guy. That sad little face, little man. Ah, little man. I want Kai here. I gotta get the tiger first, and then your pygmy giraffe. Whatever.
Yeah, he's third on the list.
Yeah. Our friend Gary, your friend Gary,
the dead body expert.
The dead body expert. God, I just thought of him immediately when I saw this story. And this is one of those when I pulled up the story for the gang that's eating the hearts.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it like Oh, you like heart eating
Yeah,
stories?
here's some similar shit
Here's
you might
some,
like.
some similar gruesome shit that might interest you. And it did, because this story's like a year old. This chick, Judy Melanek, she's written a book, and it's called, for those that are interested, it sounds like an awesome fucking read. Working Stiff, 2 years, 262 bodies, and the making of a medical examiner. And so she's coming out and like, she's like, well, where should I work? New York or LA? And someone tells her, you want to see really gruesome shit, New York City. That's like where you're going to find the weirdest deaths and shit like that. She's like, okay. And so she started her career there. And she really wanted to learn forensic pathology. All kinds of great ways to die in New York, including plummeting down a manhole, an attack by an egg roll machine, miscalculating the strength of a cable cord and scaffolding collapse. She said in her first week on the job, it became clear. She says there was some lady that shot some guy. She's like, ladies don't shoot people, you know. And so she knew it was weird. So she goes down the list here. She began in September of '99 in the Pit, as New York's autopsy suite is called. She performed her first autopsy on a 26-year-old named Terrence Booker, who had sickle cell anemia and a heroin problem. It began, as all autopsies do, with her inserting a needle into the side of each eye to collect fluid. Oh,
dude.
I don't want that done to me at any point. A delicate procedure that she perfected after once popping out a cadaver's glass eyeball. Then she made the Y cut from the edges of each collarbone down to the pelvis to look for fluids that might indicate organ failure. Booker's fluids were normal, but in other cases where a cadaver has an excessive amount, she likes to scoop that out using a big ladle she found at a cookware shop on the Upper East Side.
God.
Next, she removed all of Booker's major organs and placed them between his legs, the best way to ensure they wouldn't slip and fall to the floor. God damn it. Then she removed Booker's testes, took a sample from each and put them back in the scrotum. I had been taught to replace them unless there was a tumor or signs of injury. Families can be very particular about the testicles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Who cares?
Would you check? How would you know?
Yeah,
Like, you could totally remove dick and balls, and I'm not going to check.
Is someone going? Yeah, at the
Wait a minute.
funeral,
Wait a minute.
they're pulling the pants down. And go,
Yeah.
Hey!
What kind of funny business is going on here?
These are nudicles. Those aren't his real testicles.
I have had those in my mouth quite a bit in my life, and I know those aren't them.
Despite this meticulous 2-hour exam,
It's weird that you would go there, dude.
I so
That was really-
as
Yeah.
soon as I was done with it,
Yeah.
you realize
I
it
don't
was
know,
a
I
bad
mean-
move to go down that
I
road.
was
Yeah.
mad the minute I said it.
But you have mastered that gay voice, so well done.
Yeah. Sounds great. It's getting better too.
I'm so pissed.
Right
that
there.
I-
That's
right-
perfect.
No, the problem is halfway through it, I realized I wish I wasn't saying it, but I was already saying it, so I had to
Yeah.
had to finish it.
I can't believe I didn't jump on you. It took Jay to do it because that was
You know what?
that was an easy one.
I
I should
know.
have seen that, but I was focusing on this article. I'm glad Jay did. I'm
Honestly,
glad Jay jumped in and saved the day there.
I was hoping that
Called
randomly
you out for that.
I was hoping randomly it was a point where both of you guys just didn't hear
Let
me
that-
say it somehow.
yeah.
Or
What do you really think the odds of that
I
happening are?
don't know, but I'm not kidding. Halfway through, I'm like, why am I saying this? But I'm already saying it, so I can't just.
That's one of those where
It
you
would-
just detonate. You just pull the chute. You just pull the ripcord and bail on it.
But
Just
it
bail.
would have been more awkward if I was like, I put these in my mouth several. Then I got it. Never mind.
No, that was similar to when we had the Zot Ford people in here, and you called them out as being the hottest sales staff, you know, and
Yeah.
and he's like, "Yeah, come on over here, Anthony."
No, that one I did on
There's
purpose.
a chick, and then
That-
there's Anthony,
I
and
did that one on purpose as a
Uh-huh.
joke, Jay.
Mm.
No, I don't regret that one. That was a joke.
that was not a joke.
Well, it was a joke still, but I just regret saying it. Whatever.
So anyway, she does this 2.5-hour exam. She couldn't rule the death an overdose. She instead attributed it to anoxic encephalopathy
Sure.
due to loss of consciousness of undetermined etiology,
He died of Bob.
which she says translates to "fuck if I know." Fuck if I know what killed him. More exotic cases soon followed. There was the hipster struck by lightning during a rooftop party in Chinatown. Body intact, shoes blown clean off.
I like that they say hipster. Like, is that
Yeah, he's
necessary?
a douche. Yeah.
Right, I mean, they don't really
There's
need
some normcore up on the roof
Oh,
and
you
gets
son of a
blasted. Well, he
bitch.
was. It sounds like he was. She says he was a good-looking guy, but his eyes had a stupid look in them. His shoes were blown clean off.
It's kind of a low blow at the end there. Like
Kind
he's
of.
dead. Like, that's stupid look in his eye.
She comes. I wasn't going to say this, but because it's so douchey, she goes, he looks a little thunderstruck.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was going to spare her the embarrassment of such a lame joke.
No, she
but-
doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Then there was the cable guy, a meth head who locked himself out of his apartment while walking his 2 dogs. Instead of calling a locksmith, he looped the dog's leashes around his doorknob, went to the roof, cracked open the building's television cable box, wrapped a wire around his chest, and then stepped off the roof. Of course, the cord snapped. The guy fell about 8 stories to his death.
Holy hell, man.
His dogs were okay. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Then there was this machine used to make egg rolls exploded in Chinatown. A blade went flying, cut off one worker's arm. Another worker, Miguel Galindo, was crushed by the machine's enormous cylinder, suffocating him. Autopsy showed that he was conscious and lucid for minutes as his chest cavity filled with blood.
Holy fuck.
Where did that take place? What part of the city?
That was in a little town called Chinatown.
Ooh, me sorry, me no speak Chinese.
Yeah, me either.
You should have done the one. It's in Chinatown. You should have done the one. I don't feel like Chinese tonight.
Oh, yeah? I don't feel like Chinese tonight.
Right.
I'll take you down. Take you down to Chinatown.
What? What's wrong? What?
Did he suffer is the question she gets second most. She always lies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sure he didn't feel it.
No, he didn't feel a thing. What's the worst way to die is, of course, the most asked question. Very common. I think we asked Gary that. What's the worst way to die? She says, you don't want to know. When people insist, she tells them about Sean Doyle.
Oh, please. Oh, no.
Is he pulled apart alive? What do they call that?
Pulled apart alive.
No, it happened to Mel Gibson in Braveheart.
Yeah, where they take horses.
Drawn and quartered. Is that what it is?
Is that it? Maybe.
I think so.
so.
Back in the day when they would take
Yeah.
the horses.
God!
Oh!
That would
Take
suck.
a step
that
forward.
Would, that
Take
would,
a step forward.
That would sting. I mean, for real, I worked out with Gab one day and I felt it in my arms. I feel like if you tried to like slowly rip my arms and legs off, you'd feel that for days. You would.
Well, no, you actually wouldn't.
Christmas 2002. Doyle, out drinking with his pal Michael Wright and Wright's girlfriend, as they all walked home, Wright thought Doyle was hitting on his girlfriend. So witnesses say they saw some guy just beating the shit out of another guy. They heard this one guy screaming, "No, don't break my legs." And then witnesses saw someone throw Doyle down an open manhole. The drop was 18 feet. At the bottom was a pool of boiling water. From a broken main. Doyle didn't die instantly. In fact, as first responders arrived, he was standing below, reaching up, screaming for help. No paramedic or firefighter could climb down to help. It was 300 degrees in the steam. Tunnel. 4 hours later, his body was finally recovered. When she saw the body, the examiner, she thought he'd been steamed like a lobster. His entire outer layer of skin had peeled off, and his internal organs were literally cooked. He otherwise had no broken bones, no head trauma, which meant he was fully conscious as he boiled to death.
Holy fuck.
The worst nightmares I ever had in my 2 years come after I performed the postmortem exam of Sean Doyle. Other deaths gave her more curious lessons. There was the subway jumper at Union Square, whose body was recovered on the tracks of the Uptown 4 train with no blood. None at the scene, none in the body itself. What? She'd never seen anything like it. The explanation, the massive trauma to the entire body caused the bone marrow to absorb all the blood. What? Yeah. Finding a bullet for a gunshot wound can be particularly baffling. Her favorite is the bullet embolus. A slug enters the beating heart at just the right spot with precisely enough momentum to get flushed into the circulatory system. Then surfs through smaller and smaller vessels until it gets stuck somewhere far removed from its point of entry. In one case, this guy was shot in the chest. They found the bullet in his liver. During her tenure, the most popular suicide spot in New York was the Atrium in Times Square's Marriott Hotel. She autopsied 2 jumpers, one a 26-year-old man left from the 43rd floor. His right arm and left leg were recovered on the 11th floor. His other 2 limbs on the 7th floor, and part of his skull wound up in the elevator shaft.
Dude.
Her other jumper, also a man, jumped from the 23rd floor. One leg was found on the 10th floor, his torso on the 9th. I suspect these people imagine they're going to plummet gracefully down and land with a melodramatic thump in the lobby, but I never saw that result. The ones I saw had pinballed off a variety of jutting structures on the way, each impact causing damage to a different plane of the body. Not graceful at all.
She takes a lot of cheap shots of these people.
Yeah, well, whatever. She didn't see many pedestrian deaths. She said in Manhattan, the average speed of a car is 7 miles an hour. It's like a running possum. So she hardly saw any people die like that. She can also read living bodies. She's recalling some guy she saw in the bank with a scar in his neck. She knew he'd been shot in the neck just because of that entry thing. She says a final warning for people who live alone with cats. She says, it is true. The urban legend is true. Your faithful golden retriever might sit next to your dead body for days, starving. Your tabby, not so much. It will eat you quickly.
Oh, dude.
God damn it. Izzy would sit next to me and starve.
Yeah.
Pants monster, they're chowing my ass in minutes.
Where do you think they start? Your toes, your fingers? Start nibbling?
I don't know.
Tip of your nose.
They have no qualms
Your
at all.
lips.
They'd get going at Tony would eat you in a second. Rips. Your rips? You think they'd start with your rips?
I don't know.
That is so, like, I know that we know that cats are not like dogs in a sense of the loyalty, but I just can't imagine that after me being dead for Tony, who will rub up on me, who will come up to me and, pat my belly. Day later, just.
You don't feed Tony, Tony's going to eat you.
God.
Quickly.
That is,
that dogs, though? That's a friend, man. Like, you could be dead, Jay, laying next to me for months. I could be starving, literally starving.
No,
I wouldn't eat Jay.
I disagree.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes,
We've already
you
heard
would.
he'd be tough and
You would do
marbly. Didn't we hear marbly
You
and tough?
wouldn't eat a person. No, there's
Yes,
no
you would.
way.
Yes, you would.
He wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
I would. Mike wouldn't.
You would? You'd eat me? What would you start with? Panoose?
It's human nature. It's human nature.
What would you start
we
with?
can't talk about it, but it's human nature to survive. The survival.
No,
gene.
Mike wouldn't do it. He doesn't have that fight.
No,
Well,
I don't
he
have
would
that
do it
fight
because
at
he
all.
doesn't have
No
that.
way.
But most
He'd
people
be like,
want it.
fuck it. It's been an okay run.
I'd rather eat my couch than you.
Yeah.
I'd be eating you thinking about like games we played in high school.
No,
and
you wouldn't
stuff
do
and
it.
Getting drunk
No,
together.
he'd be so grossed out.
I
You'd
would
be
be.
like, no,
I'd
it's the end.
I'd have tears streaming down my face.
Yeah.
The Jay is so gross.
So gross.
He's kind of delicious, but tough and marbly. This sucks. He's so delicious. No, I wouldn't do it. What would you start with on me? Toes?
No, I think we talked. Didn't we talk about this?
Yes, we did talk about it.
Like
and what
it's
do we
got to be like the
decide?
back of the leg or something, like the ham hock.
That's funny you say that because I was watching some video of some tribe in Africa and they were talking about cannibalism still going on, and they showed some woman. There's just this row of dead bodies, and she like lifts up this leg with a machete, and she's just like just hacking meat off it. It was fucking gross. Oh, God. We're just a few hours plane ride.
I know.
It's another fucking galaxy, dude.
I couldn't even watch that.
And things that we worry about here, they're eating human legs. And people here are like,
I got a scratch in my car.
I don't want my children to go sledding. They could get hurt. Ugh. We have another city, Dubuque, Iowa this time, has closed 48 of 50 parks with sledding hills. And actually, I don't know what's more infuriating, the fact that they're worried about children being hurt or they're worried about lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking lawyers. God, these lawyers are ruining this country. No one tracks how many cities have banned or limited sledding, but the list grows every year. The latest, as I said, Dubuque, Iowa, they're moving ahead with a plan to ban sledding in all but 2 of their 50 parks. We have all kinds of parks that have hills on them. We can't manage the risk in all those places. And then there's a whole list of like other places that are doing the same thing. They're all
sledding's the best.
It is. Can you imagine? They did mention one place where they banned it and everybody ignored it. They're like, yeah, fuck you and your ban, whatever. And so they lifted the ban. They're like, no one pays attention to it anyways. But it sparked this story, which was 5 things that kids can't do anymore. And it started just because of the Dubuque, Iowa sledding thing. It's just the latest pastime to come under fire. Then the other one, trampolines. The American Academy of Pediatrics issued a formal report urging the ban on recreational trampoline use because the number of injuries had been steadily increasing for years.
I banned my kids from trampolines.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I formally banned them because
Why?
they've gotten hurt on them. And
Like
stupid.
how hurt? Your kids
Broken
seem
ankle?
fine. Oh, that sucks.
It
Well,
does suck.
I broke my ankle playing soccer multiple times. Should
Every
I
kid
not
I
play
know,
soccer?
dude, who regularly jumps on one has gotten a broken bone at some point. It's bullshit. It's okay. You hop around a few times, great. Get it out of your system. Now you're
So
done.
how do you get hurt? Flying off it?
Dude, you're flying up and you always lose that footing. There's a slip and all of a sudden you're stepping on your ankle bone instead of the bottom of your foot, you know?
Yeah, that's
I've been there.
Pain
Yeah.
blows. Oh, that
It's
sucks.
that turning of the ankle.
Yeah, I guess if multiple kids are jumping on it,
Yeah,
that's
there's
where
always
screws
four
it
of
up.
them on there. It's ridiculous. They're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Peanut butter sandwiches and birthday cake food allergies. Birthday cakes and peanut butter. Apparently, schools, the sensitivity surrounding them have become
That
heightened
sucks
in recent
because
years.
there's so many nights where you're making the kids lunch and you just want to throw together peanut butter and jelly and you're like, God damn it! They
And you
can't have
can't.
peanut butter. You know,
At
So
school,
you're-
you mean?
Yeah, at school. It's incredible,
It's
dude.
so bad that
Yes.
it's just
They said if one kid in a school district
A district?
has any sort of nut allergy, banned throughout the district.
Ugh.
One fucking kid. So they said certain ingredients. They'll ban whatever other ingredients are a source of bad reactions, even if for only one child in the entire district. Eggs, soy, and wheat are some of the latest taboo ingredients. Fuck. Sugar is now the subject of a growing group of health-conscious parents. Ugh. School district in Kentucky does not allow food treats like cupcakes or cookies at celebrations. Instead, they encourage students and parents to bring non-food items like stickers.
Never encountered that one.
stickers. Who wants stickers?
Stickers, jump ropes, or pencils to get the party started.
Oh,
Wow, settle down. Don't go too crazy.
I'm shocked jump roping isn't.
Stickers were awesome though when you were a kid.
Yeah,
Remember the
but I'd rather have a
scratch and sniff?
cupcake.
Scratch what is
No, I'd
Scratch and
take a sheet of scratch and sniffs over a cupcake.
You would?
Yes, back
A
then I
sheet,
would've.
but no one gave you a sheet. They give
No.
you one on a page.
No,
That blows, and you'd wear that sticker out in no time. What are you,
those
two?
were awesome, dude. Remember the popcorn? Or
Yeah, I
the-
remember popcorn.
I had
yeah.
one that was gasoline smell.
Are you
Gasoline
serious?
Yeah.
smell.
It's a little car.
That seems
Really?
a little.
Yeah, it was
I
weird,
bet,
man.
I bet that stunk like gasoline.
It
That'd be an
totally
easy
did.
one.
Those were awesome though. And then the puffy ones. Remember there's the puffy
Yeah,
stickers
yeah,
and
yeah.
the googly eyes.
Yep, totally. Those were awesome.
See,
Well, you
I'd
can
take-
do those.
I'd take a sheet of those over any.
But no
freaking
one's going to
cupcake.
give you a sheet. Who gave you a sheet of
Well,
those?
nowadays
besides your
they
mom?
would because people are ridiculous. So
Really?
if they're talking about a sheet instead of a cupcake, I'll take the sheet of stickers. Scratch
me-
and sniff.
Give me a half a sheet. and a
Fruit flavored,
cupcake.
preferably.
Yeah. And then they mentioned the other thing is keeping score and trophies and all that.
That's
shit.
yeah, that's a
such
big one.
bullshit. Dude, these kids are gonna grow up and like lead companies at some point.
Sounds
What's-
like an old man. Mike.
I know I do, but I can't help it. Like things are changing in such a direction that I'm just not comfortable with. These kids are gonna grow up to be monsters. Dude,
Well, they're the people like you mentioned, the kid with the lips and stuff that they can't. A girl breaks up with them and then they kill them because they can't.
yeah, they can't adapt. They're not used to failure on any level. Like that is such an important part of life.
Dude.
Learning how to deal with tragedy and learning how to deal with failure and
Yeah.
and being able to pick yourself up and continue the fight. Like this idea, like I don't think it's just a coincidence that we keep seeing this where you used to get a situation where people that really wanted to take themselves out for whatever reason, they just killed themselves. They didn't wipe out their whole family and then fucking take themselves out last. They didn't murder their girlfriend and then take themselves out. We're seeing that daily. We could do news stories every day about pussies that can't handle life and have to take out two other people with themselves. They don't even go to trial anymore. They're dead. Guy kills two cops and then kills himself. It just
There's a shooter at Fort Bliss, just last night. 2 dead, including shooter at Veterans Hospital.
Of course.
You're
That's
right. You
always what
could
you see.
literally do one of these every day.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've mentioned this before, but one of the biggest things I see is kids' inability to be bored and deal with it now.
Yeah.
Because they all have little things to take with them, whether it's the iPad or whatever. They don't know how to be bored. You and I, we sat in the back of a car, 3 across the fucking back.
Yep.
And
Yep.
don't go over the line. That's mine. Don't go over the line. And
Yeah.
you just stared out the window, watching the road go by.
If you were going to Florida from here, which is about 24
Which
hours
we did
drive.
several times. I had grandparents down there, so we
Yeah.
made that drive a lot.
Yep. And I had grandparents down there too. We made that trip as well. And this is long before phones or you were not at that age to even decide what was going to be played on the radio. It
Grabbed
was
your
just like
pillow and a book. You
Yeah.
know?
or you played the license plate game.
Yep.
Or you played the alphabet game or the reading billboards game. You didn't. Your
Or
dad
you
listened to
shut
some.
down. You shut your brain down for hours on end.
Yeah.
You looked out at nothing and you dealt with it.
And you
These
daydreamed. And
kids don't do that. And they say, and I remember reading some article about this, and I know I talked about this months ago, but they say that's a real problem. You know, there's the inability to kind of deal with that boredom, deal with that downtime.
Yeah.
Is a problem for kids because they're constantly, what's next? What's next? What's next?
Well, you see it in TV programs. It's hard for me to watch a lot of TV programs right now. Younger ones, especially, like, forget it. If you're talking about MTV, where it's just like cut shots to everything, go
Sensory overload.
Go watch The Godfather, the movie. If you watch The Godfather today,
How slow and plotting
dude,
it is.
it is so slow. It's a great movie. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. But it's like a kid today would watch that and go, all right, fucking kill some people already.
Yeah.
Like, you need these wild shootout scenes with unbelievable graphics and just like CGI, everything. It just doesn't, it looks so stupid to me where, you know, in these movies, it's like the big scene that people remember, the head of the horse being cut off.
Yeah.
Like they would have to show that with a chainsaw
Yeah.
from 30 different angles and then dragging it upstairs with blood trailing behind it. Whereas The Godfather was so brilliant in the way it was just like, he just wakes up and it's just like he feels a little blood on him and then you see the horse head and then it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just all the cinema stuff has changed so much. And it's like, you watch that stuff and that's what everything is. Jump cuts, quick flash, blah, 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 blah. And it's for that exact thing that you're talking about where kids lose interest so fast.
Mhm.
And what are you going to do in the future to keep their interest? Because it's not going to stop. It's not going to change. But
old man rant over.
yeah, it is. But it's true. It's true. You know, we could honestly keep ourselves entertained with a stick.
Yeah.
Go out in the yard and play Zorro.
Remember that was one of the toys inducted to the
Yes,
Toy
it
Hall of Fame?
was. Stick.
Stick. Yeah. I mean, and we could do amazing shit with a stick. I don't know. I mean, how far would you get if you and Gab took the kids, threw them in the car, you're going to Florida and took all the gadgets away and tried to play like the license plate game for 24 hours? How long
it'd
would
be
that
tough.
last?
It'd be tough, man. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we just go across town, 45 minutes to my parents, and they're all asking for their eye touches. And no, you don't need that. We're just,
Yeah.
not going on a big trip.
Yeah.
Relax.
Hey, I don't want to wrap up the show. I feel bad because we're going a little, well, not late, but the Pam and Tommy, the untold story of you want to go through that real
Sure,
quick?
yeah.
It's kind of lengthy, but I thought it was interesting. This guy was doing work. His name's Gauthier. He had a gun. He was held at gunpoint by Tommy Lee at one point. He was doing work at his house, and that's kind of what started this. He says, I was never really popular, people, but I had never been held at gunpoint. It screwed with my head. Now he wanted revenge. He wanted the drummer to feel vulnerable, to realize that he was just a human being, not an invincible rock god. Oh, God, you're going to teach lessons, dickhead. So Gauthier decided to steal the giant safe he knew was tucked in the garage, the one with all Lee's guns and Anderson's jewelry, and I'll laugh at their expense. He had no idea the safe also contained this homemade tape that would promise him dazzling riches and then ruin his life. Instead of taking Lee down a notch, it turned him into an even bigger rock star,
For sure.
from all that. I made his career is what happened, but Lee might not see it that way. 2 years ago, he received a Facebook message from a page bearing the name Tommy Lee. All it said was, hey, you fucking faggot. I love Tommy Lee. The Pam and Tommy sex tape is the most infamous stolen celebrity artifact on the planet. It was a porn that appealed to people who didn't usually watch porn. A dive into the guileless intimacy between two tabloid darlings. The tape took 2 years to go from bootleg to viral, and when it did, it made an estimated $77 million in less than a year. And that's just on legit sales. So how did the person who stole the safe manage to evade the police, the lawyers, the media, and the biker gangs, but never see a penny? He says he spent the entire summer of 1995 preparing for the heist, driving over to Lee's house several nights a week to sit and stare, waiting outside until 3, 4 in the morning, plotting, stewing. I took my time. I cased the joint. His plan was to throw a white Tibetan yak fur rug over his back and crawl to the garage on his hands and knees in the middle of the night so the security cameras, which Gauthier himself had installed, would seem to show like a dog, like the one the couple had. Lee and Anderson lived in a 3-story Spanish-style house with a garage that had been converted into a recording studio on the bottom floor. Unfamiliar trucks, vans, and cars were often parked outside the house, so no one suspected anything. The property was adjacent to state-owned land, and the paparazzi would lurk, and the couple sometimes saw boom mics hang out of a fence. They'd just see cameras and boom mics and stuff, and Tommy pulled out like a sawed-off shotgun at one of them. He got in trouble for that at one point. So this guy, over the course of their multi-year renovations, the couple cycled through several rounds of contractors and workers they deemed untrustworthy, spending what was, by all accounts, an obscene amount of money, building out a hedonist's paradise with heart-shaped glass and iron doors, a pillow room, a koi pond, a 20-foot mural of heaven and hell in the elevator shaft, which is badass looking, a 30-foot swing in the living room hanging above a white baby grand piano. They were getting 3-inch slabs of marble from France and Italy delivered. They spent money like they hated it. In early October, Anderson threw Lee a circus-themed party to celebrate his 33rd birthday at a ranch down the road featuring carnival rides, tigers, sword swallowers, and a death metal band from Sweden. $5,000 worth of drugs as well. About 5 days before Halloween, he decided to make his move, this Gauthier dude. He acknowledges that no other one person knew about his plan beforehand, but he said one other person knew about it, but he insists he carried it on himself. I don't believe him. It was 3 a.m. and the Lees were at home, upstairs asleep. He came in over the fence with the yak fur in his back and a U-Haul dolly trailing behind him. After disabling the security cameras, he claims to have gone upstairs and walked into the Lees' bedroom. Next, entering the garage, he says he carefully moved all the recording equipment in front of the carpeted wall, concealing the safe. So this was buried behind like a carpeted wall, which comes into play later because they didn't even know it was missing for months.
Oh.
Yeah. He also had a huge Neve recording board, a Neve board, which is like one of the most expensive world-class recording studio boards in the world. There's a great documentary on the Neve board, but I mean, they're extremely expensive. Tommy had one. It weighs hundreds of pounds, as well as a few racks of outboard gear, each of them about 6 feet tall, awkward, and heavy. Then he tipped the Browning safe, which was 6 feet by 4 feet by 3 feet, onto the dolly, strapped it down, put everything back as he found it, and wheeled the dolly out onto the driveway, heading downhill toward the street. Do you think there's any way? Dude, I have a safe here. It's sure as shit ain't 6 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot. This guy's going to put that on a dolly and wheel it out himself.
Boy,
I don't know.
Several hundred pounds.
It'd be a ton, literally. That thing would weigh a ton. To get the safe up onto the back of the truck, once he got out on the road, he claims he leaned the whole dolly and safe against the gate. And I get in the dirt and I wedge my legs underneath it. And I bench up to 500 pounds with my legs. Oh, it was hard. That's just not that impressive. First off, 500 pounds of leg. I mean, it is, but it's not that impressive. I would think that safe would weigh more than 500 pounds anyways. Friends of Gauthier say he told a different story back in 95, 96. Lee himself wrote in his memoir that whoever robbed them must have removed the safe with a crane. Troy Tompkins, the general contractor who was held at gunpoint with Gauthier, helped plan the heist from the start and was waiting in a pickup truck. Gauthier took it to a secure location and spent an hour cutting into the back of with a borrowed demolition saw outfitted with a composite diamond carbide blade. Although he denies finding the AK-47, FNC assault rifle, 45, 70 cal rifle, and Mossberg stainless steel shotgun mentioned in a later police report, he does acknowledge discovering everything else Pam and Tommy listed as missing, including family photos, a Rolex, a golden diamond Cartier watch, gold and emerald cufflinks, a ruby and diamond cross, the white bikini that Anderson wore to the beach wedding, and an HI-8 tape, the kind of cassette that would be inserted into a handheld camcorder. He brought the tape back to the North. This guy was like a porn star. Well, not porn star, but he did some porns and he worked on the sets. And so he had a friend with a studio, took it to this guy's porn studio, And as soon as they popped it in and saw it, they were like, cha-ching, fucking gold mine. They knew they'd hit it, and they thought they were going to be rich. Early on, he met this Uncle Milty Ingley, who was this overweight, pipe-smoking, cheapskate studio owner who was partial to country music and Chambord. After Gauthier fixed a few pieces of recording equipment around his studio, the two became friends. So when he came to Ingley with the Pam and Tommy tape, Ingley took over first. After making a few copies, they destroyed the original HI-8 cassette, melting the casing and cutting the tape itself into hundreds of little pieces, which they dispersed into a desolate area near Six Flags Magic Mountain. The next step was to find a distributor. So they wanted to destroy that evidence. One of the first people he approached was Ron Jeremy.
Oh, my gosh. The hog.
Yeah, the hog, exactly. I got a reality star you're going to really shit your pants over, he told him. But Jeremy and his producing partner quickly figured out the tape had been stolen and that Lee and Anderson hadn't signed a release. We passed, Jeremy recalled. Porn was so strict and scary back in those days. If you're fucking, you better believe you have to have a release. Ingley approached a handful of other companies, but no one wanted to take the risk. A wealthy foreigner offered them $1 million for the tape, but he thought it was worth much more than that, so they passed on that. And then they say, finally, he approached Louis Butchie Pereno, the son of a capo in one of New York's organized crime families, the Colombos, having financed and distributed Deep Throat, was what his family was famous for. Remember that? The 72 porn film. The younger one ran an adult video business called Arrow Productions, but even he didn't feel comfortable putting out the Pam and Tommy tape in any official capacity. Instead, he loaned them $50,000 so that they could get distribution and manufacturing of the tape over the internet with the expectation that he would pay them back first off and then give them a cut of profits. At this point, only 25 million Americans and 40 million people globally had internet access.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe that? There was no such thing as streaming video. Finally, Ingley and Gauthier thought they would be rich. I was looking at castles in Spain, this dude says. Ingley used about a quarter of the money he had given him to run off thousands of copies and to hire someone to put up a few websites, pamsex.com, pamlee.com, pamsextape.com. The sites didn't have the video itself. They merely gave instructions to send a money order to the New York outpost of a Canadian t-shirt company, which then funneled the money to a bank in Amsterdam with VHS copies of Pam's hardcore sex video going for $60. They expected soon they'd be flush with money. So with him managing shipments from LA, driving around in a Dodge knee-deep in video cassettes, he headed to New York to enjoy the rest of this guy's loan. $500 bottles of champagne, hookers every night, a room at the plaza, and lots of cocaine. Fucking morons. Another studio lackey, Steve Fasanella, he realizes he's not going to be cut in, so he starts making his own copies of the tapes and selling them out of the back of his van at $180 a piece or $175 a piece. He made $75,000 from doing that. Yeah. He sold nearly 500 copies that way. By the end of December 1995.
VHS tapes, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Daily Mail did a year in review issue that covered Anderson and Lee's tabloid antics. In that article, the writer mentioned, yeah, there's rumor of the two having sex on a yacht that's supposedly on sale in Los Angeles. 2 months had passed since the heist. At this point, Anderson Lee hadn't even noticed yet the safe was missing.
Oh, dude.
In the middle of January 96, they noticed. Horrified, they filed a police report, hired a Hollywood private investigator, Anthony Pellicano, to find out what had happened. Pellicano later told the Lee's lawyer that he tracked down Ingley, who admitted he had a copy of the tape, but claimed to have bought it from Goran Swing, the interior designer. Swing and a friend were hanging out at this bachelor pad when Pellicano showed up one night wearing a white suit and immediately shoved Swing down on the ground. What's up, dude? Who the fuck are you? Just tell me. We know you did it. We know you took the tape. After a short interrogation, they realized, no, this guy didn't take the tape. Soon after, Fasanella was at Ingley's studio doing some work with Ron Jeremy's roommate of 17 years, this porn director named Bobby Bouchard. All of a sudden, they heard motorcycles revving outside, and then 5 or 6 biker dudes bust in the room. You, where's the fucking tape? He pointed a shotgun at his balls. The bikers had a VHS box cover from a porn that Gauthier had done years back. So they're trying to decide if it's him. They're looking at this porno from 15 years earlier. And he's like, that's not me. Yes, it is. No, it's not. I know the guy you're looking for, but I'm not him. And so they're like, well, the guy with the shotgun finally unites. You tell that motherfucker we're going to come back and blow somebody's balls off unless that tape gets put back. Motley Crue's head of security was a former Hell's Angel, and Lee sicked the angels onto Gauthier and Ingley. And Ingley to get the tape back. The bikers started coming by the studio every few days, sometimes twice a day, looking for Gauthier and Ingley. But these guys would hear these motorcycles coming up the road. They'd go out the back door onto the roof, and then they lived like right down the street, and they would jump out. And so as soon as they heard the motorcycles coming, they would fucking book and go hide in the house.
Wow.
Just as Lee and Anderson began to realize the tape was spreading faster than they could contain it, word came from New York that Penthouse had gotten a copy. A lawyer for Penthouse promised the magazine wouldn't publish any images from the tape, but the couple started to panic. They filed a $10 million civil suit against everyone they thought might have a copy, including Penthouse, Ingley, Gauthier, Tompkins, Sardell, and Swing. These are some other characters that are mixed up. I'm not reading all of this, but by the next day, news vans were parked outside of Ingley's studio and Swing's parents' house. The judge denied Anderson and Lee's request for a temporary restraining order against Penthouse, and the magazine put out its June issue with Anderson on the cover and a written description of the tape. In August, a different LA judge refused to grant Lee a permanent injunction against Penthouse, largely because it is essentially unheard of for a court to bar a media outlet from publishing something before it has done so. Since Anderson had posed nude several times and became because the two discussed their sex life in interviews, Penthouse's lawyers argued that the couple had forfeited their privacy rights regarding the video's content. And since Penthouse had received the tape from a source and no one from the magazine had been directly involved in the burglary, writing about its contents was fair game. Plus, because the footage included a scene of Anderson rolling a joint, and she had told Star the previous year that she didn't do drugs, the tape itself was legally considered newsworthy. Crazy how that shit works. After Anderson and because Anderson and Lee shot it themselves, the couple still did retain copyright over the tape. So Penthouse held off on printing stills or selling the tape, even after winning this part of the case. Through the spring and summer of '96, legal paperwork continued to arrive at Ingley's studio, though neither he nor Gauthier had hired a lawyer, with the Lee's attorneys coming from one direction, the biker gang from another, and Pereno starting to ask questions about when he might see return on his investment. Ingley decided to get the hell out of New York. So he headed to the Netherlands for more prostitutes, more drugs, and more time crouched over computers, posting thousands upon thousands of ads in adult-oriented forums and news groups. But Pereno still needed to be paid. He says that Gauthier says that Ingley managed to get the initial loan back to him, but he still owed the interest. He knew that Pereno had cancer, and he thought if he waited in Europe for long enough, the guy would just die. Listen to this cast of characters, dude. It's fucking hilarious. Unfortunately for Gauthier, Perano decided that he needed to work to pay back the money that Ingley owed him, specifically by helping him send a message to some other people who owed him money. Soon, Gauthier says he was working collections for the mob to pay off his own debts.
It's like a Guy Ritchie movie, you know?
Totally.
It's all these crazy characters and intertwined shit.
Yep. Knees are a little harder to break than most people think. So I came up with my own idea. He would grow a beard, throw on a baseball cap and sunglasses, and approach the indebted individual holding what appeared to be a cup of coffee, but it wasn't coffee, it was ammonia. Suddenly, Gauthier would throw the chemical in the victim's face, whip out the metal handle from a mop wringer, break the guy's collarbone, walk a few blocks, jump into his plateless Dodge van, and disappear.
Is there a leg sweep involved?
No leg sweep. He would just cut the ammonia to the face, cat piss to the face, smelling salt as you were, and then break the collarbone, and then he's off. The court issued an injunction against Ingley in '97, ordering him to stop copying and selling the tape, but he didn't care, and by then it was too late. Suddenly, LA was awash with copies. This is almost done here. It was at this point that a copy of the video found its way into the hands of someone brazen enough to take it to the next level, a 25-year-old internet wonder kid named Seth Warshavsky, which is how we all know of the tape. He's the kid that finally put it out. Pretty much everyone in the adult industry despised Warshavsky. He was a sniveling huckster who wrote bad checks and owed lots of people money. One of his employees watched one of the copies of the tape, then flying around Hollywood. He brought it to his boss in Seattle. Warshavsky gave him a few $100, and in November 3rd, 1997, issued a press release announcing that he intended to broadcast the video online. He never thought he'd be able to show the tape. He merely wanted the publicity. But on November 6th, the judge refused to issue an injunction against him, and the following day, he aired the tape on Club Love on a loop for 5 straight hours. We were in the back of a car, and Tommy was on the speakerphone, and Tommy was like, "Seth, I'm going to kick your fucking ass." But By now, the Lees were exhausted. Everyone in Los Angeles, it seemed, had already seen the video, and the never-ending series of depositions was invasive and stressful and failed to stop the tape's distribution. So they decided to settle. Lee and Anderson were under the false impression that they could give Warshawski permission to show the tape of the web without allowing it to be sold in stores. They underestimated their internet reach and all that. Within days, anyone who bought a subscription to Club Love had access to the tape. Our servers were rocked. It was insanity. We had thousands of sales a day, every day for months. Damn. Soon, Warshawski had worked out a deal with Vivid to manufacture VHS, DVD, and CD-ROM copies. By February of '98, every American could walk into an adult video store and pick one up. They sold hundreds of thousands of copies. Back in Amsterdam, Ingley was reeling. How dare Warshawski make money off his tape? But it was too late. He'd lost control. I was the lowest guy in the totem pole, and I was so busy trying to make it work. By 2002, when a federal suit reached court, Warshawski had moved to Bangkok following FBI Department of Justice investigations into their improper business practices. A judge ordered his defunct company to pay Anderson and Lee $740,000 each. The couple never saw that money. Both Ingley and Gauthier left porn for good after the tape debacle. After Pirano finally succumbed to cancer in '99, Ingley came back to California.
Doesn't know the guy $50,000.
Exactly. He's disheveled and broke at this point. He soon moved in with his daughter, where he remained until he died. Everyone once in a while, he'll tell someone he was the guy that stole the Pam Anderson, Tommy Lee sex tape. Almost no one believes him, but he likes the fact that he contributed this small token to the world. He's always enjoyed watching the tape himself.
Incredible story.
Isn't that nuts?
One dude crawling up the driveway with a yak skin on his back, with the balls to go in there and take that.
Oh, God, I can't even imagine.
So who made all the money then? That Seth Warshawski?
Seth Warshawski,
Warshawski,
Club Love. It had to have been.
At least made a big chunk of that, and then Vivid probably.
Yeah, Vivid probably even made more because they started selling the tape. I think you had a copy of that tape.
Yeah, you gave me a copy.
Yeah.
Did you guys get it off that loop? That Warshawski loop?
You know what they sent? Vivid was one of the main companies that would send us shit. So I think we saw parts of that video. I'm trying to remember. I mean, back then it was like, it was just a different world, but Vivid would send us, and that's why you had a copy, because they sent us a case of those. And they were, it's weird. Over the years, the Motley Crue, the Dirt Book, and the Pam and Tommy sex tape were stolen from our office more times than I can count. There were more times when I sent someone out or myself went out to buy a copy of the Dirt. Like every time we'd interview someone from Motley Crue, we would want to reference that book.
It's gone.
It's gone. Gone. We bought 10 copies over the years.
Did you ever take that one?
No.
E was good. Anytime E borrowed something, he would bring it right back. He'd watch it, read it, and bring it back, whatever it was. There were other snake shitty asshole intern wannabes that we had that fucking walked with shit and they'd never show up again. Or people that would just sneak into our office and take stuff.
I was not, dude. I mean, we don't have to go over it. We've talked about it before, but dude, I wanted that to be something. I was never gonna.
No,
I would have been very conscious about that. Even stuff that I knew, I didn't tell people. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would never been the guy to go up and start talking about people or whatever.
No, dude, I know. That's one of the things I like about you so much is that you're not a gossiper. You don't get involved in shit that's not. You're just like, whatever,
go to the
man.
Bar and be like, hey, you guys listen to Drew and Mike or something, and then like, I don't know. I intern there and blah blah blah. Like,
but people love big stuff, and
right.
like they got some breaking news on shit, and well, I'll tell you what those guys are really like.
Yeah,
people love doing that stuff.
No, you're right. But it gives. I don't know. I've just never gotten that. It gives people a sense of importance. I don't know. We don't go over it, but I've never gotten that.
But to this day, I don't even have a copy of that video anymore.
Yeah, I loaned mine out to a guy and never saw it again.
Yeah.
Loaned it out. I don't know. Some dude asked me to, my buddy's having a bachelor party. Can I? And that was when it was brand new. Sure, take it. Dude, someone stole it.
Yeah. Which is what I found. Yeah. People stole it all the time. We probably had 25 copies, all of them stolen.
It's a different world, though. Like you said at the beginning of the story, that was huge.
It was huge. It was, yeah.
The idea of someone of that stature on tape, you know what I mean? It was just unbelievable.
Yeah. And they were arguably two of the biggest. I mean, they were as big as you got in the tabloid world at that time.
Yeah.
They were huge. Pam was in Playboy all the time. And
Baywatch.
Yeah, Baywatch was huge. Do we have any email, Jay?
Yeah, I got a few. You know what? I'm going to start out with Debbie, who wants us to wish her husband David a happy 34.0 birthday tomorrow.
Hey, nice.
Yeah. Wondered if you could wish him a happy birthday. He's a big fan. Listen. I listen to you guys every day at work, often laughing out loud in a library-like office setting. So for that, I thank you.
Nice.
You bring entertainment to what is otherwise a dismal environment. Sorry to hear that, Debbie.
Yeah.
Get out of that dismal environment. Go do something else.
Yeah, go start a show or something.
Yeah, Big E, I'll keep the dry stalks comments out of this message. Instead, I say cast a broad net, shower more often, and see what happens. Just saying. That's such a chick, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Just a nice, responsible lady.
Well, I hate when people say, I'm going to leave the blank out. Well, you just said it. Like, no offense.
I think that was the point.
I know. But
So, yeah, David,
I
happy
still
birthday,
hate it.
man. Happy birthday. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Ryan writes in, I thought I heard Eric say he was class of 2003, making him 19 when he graduated. Was he held back a year by chance?
We've referenced this before.
We have before.
Yeah, it was 19
It goes
when
back
I
to
graduated.
it goes back to the whole homeschooling debacle.
Yeah.
That occurred in the 4th grade to
Oh, yeah.
7th grade time period, right?
Yeah, when he turned retarded.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I was. I don't know. Whatever.
Ryan recognizes this may have already been covered. It was, but don't mind going back to it. Also, he says that means he could have been driving freshman year, which should have helped his popularity back then.
No, I couldn't. I still didn't.
His mom didn't let him.
No, I still wasn't 16. I didn't have a license until my sophomore year still. Or I think I got my license, but I got my license like the end of sophomore year.
But
But
you hit a little
you
bump
couldn't-
in the road there. I mean,
you could, but you couldn't
graduated when you were
Yeah,
19.
we explained this already.
19 graduated.
Yeah, I did. I did 8th grade twice. I don't know. It wasn't my choice. I graduated. No, but you know what though? I graduated 8th grade the first time.
Oh, you just took it again for fun?
No, I didn't fucking want to do it.
Who graduates 8th grade and then takes it again?
Well, I guess you don't listen when we told the story before.
I honestly don't remember him
Okay,
saying
well,
it.
No,
I know he described kind of a hiccup period there in education with the homeschooling and all that, but I don't think you ever said
I'm sure
did
that I
8th grade
did, but
twice.
I can say it just like you were sure that you said the other thing. I don't know. I'm sure I've explained this
Okay.
before, but I'll say it very fast. I went to I went to out of public school 4th grade. Then there was a homeschooling period, a Montessori period.
Hippie commune, something like that.
Yeah, and then I was in this Child of Christ Christian school for 7th and 8th grade.
That's brutal.
I did
7th,
pass.
8th, and 8th grade.
No.
It was 7th, 8th, and 8th.
No, I was there for 8th grade. I did pass, but barely.
Yeah.
And then my parents all of a sudden decided that because I hadn't been in public school since 3rd grade, I think they took this as a chance to like have, I don't know, I barely passed, but I did. But they took a chance to throw me back into 8th grade. They claimed that they just didn't want me to go. I hadn't been in public schooling since 3rd grade. So they said, we don't want to just throw you into high school and not have any friends. So they threw me back into 8th grade. So I went to public school for the 2nd 8th grade. And
Gotcha.
which was funny because literally the first class I had back at 8th
Chubbs.
grade. No. Some
Tai-Chung
other
Gross.
motherfucker. Some
Matt.
other motherfucker. It was the first class. No, not one of my friends. Just some kid. Actually, some kid I used to fucking hate. But I don't remember his name now. But like first class, my 2nd and 8th grade thing, they say my name. The teacher says my name. And all of a sudden he goes, hey, weren't you in like 2nd grade or was I was in 3rd grade or something? Like he and it's like, that son of a bitch, dude. Had to like
God
right
damn it.
off the bat. He's like, weren't you in 3rd grade when I was in 4th grade or something? Or 4th when I was and I was like, you son, like the first freaking class someone
poor
reckoned.
Eric.
But I did do 8th grade twice. I
Can't
don't
catch a
know.
break.
I actually look back on it. Honestly, I look back on it. I'm happy it happened. I wouldn't have met some of the friends I don't know.
Tai-Chung
My whole
Gross.
life was
Chubbs.
Chubbs.
Matt.
yeah, I don't know. My life wouldn't be the same. I have no problem with it. But yeah, I graduated at 19.
Okay.
It's awesome.
So
you were you buying beer for kids in high school then?
I never had a fake ID or anything.
Sounds like you didn't need one.
19 is not 21.
You could go to Canada and buy him drinks.
I never.
high school. It's pretty
With your own ID.
I only tried to
It
go
says
to
Eric Fady on it.
I never went to Canada to drink, and I only was gonna go once, and somehow my mom caught onto the plot, and I got caught, so I didn't go. Me and my buddy Chris McQueen were gonna go to Canada one night.
Chris McQueen?
Yeah. Finally, one night we were gonna go to Canada, and we told my mom we were going to the Monster Jam. But somehow I pulled out a bunch of quarters because I wanted to go to the casinos. It wasn't even about drinking to me. Like, I wanted to go to a casino. And I guess I had a bunch of quarters or something, and my mom found them. And I don't remember how it is, but she found out. So then I had to, like, I still went to Monster Jam. She was so suspicious that I got scared, and I went to Monster Jam instead of Canada. I never tried again.
Never tried again?
Never tried again after that.
She holds some power over you, man. I don't know.
We'll get to it. We'll peel back that onion.
Yeah, we'll crack that shell.
All right, we've got the Shathid kind of drama still playing out.
Oh, it still is?
Two listeners who are going back and forth.
Yeah. Is there an update from one?
It was Noel and I can't remember.
Noel took a sound thrashing.
No, Noel. Yeah, but right. Noel originally said, dude, that was a Lewis Black bet.
Yeah.
Guy comes back, I think it was Tom yesterday, who says, fuck off.
Fuck off,
you know?
Noel. Yeah.
My sister-in-law had this guy, took a picture of the file. Fuck off, kindly.
Yeah.
And Noel says, yo, Tom, you are absolutely right. It can happen more than once or could be the same instance. Like I mentioned in the email, Jay. So he's getting me involved.
Oh, no. He's dragging you into the mud?
I just read them, dude. I just read them.
Yeah.
Okay? So then he says,
wow.
He read the email and said something along the lines of blah, blah, blah after the initial point, which was, it is a funny bit and they should play it on air. I totally said it was very possible that it could be the same instance or has happened more than once. So blame it on Jay.
Oh.
The cult leader says I'm not allowed to even Google blue waffle, let alone eat it. Gross. I did see that blue waffle back a few years ago, and it has haunted my dreams ever since. I'd forgotten about it until the Detroit Cast brought it up. Love the show, guys. Tom, we cool, but lick Lion's barbed panous. The barbed panous.
So are you going to respond to this? You going to send an email to both of them?
Done with this shit. This Shathid. Okay. Shathid. All right. It probably happened.
Yeah.
I'm with Tom. There's billions of people out there.
Yeah.
You know, stupid people.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how they got onto it? But there's an Absudi. We talked about her.
Was it in the newspaper?
Her little dog pooch or whatever it was. Yep. Yeah. So people do dumb shit.
Yep.
And we'll save the rest for tomorrow.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for checking out the show. Again, rest in peace, David Height. Good, big fan of the show and been with us for a long time. And he passed away, gone too soon, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get some information that we can pass along to everybody if you want to go pay your respects. And we should mention, do we have just a straight read from them? This is so hard to follow. For Zot Ford. Snow is coming. Great time to lease an F-150. And they'll cover the payment information. Check out the massive inventory at Zotford, SZOTT.com. If you're into it, and I was there the other day, so I saw this firsthand. Foosball, ping pong,
hot sales staff,
popcorn, the hottest sales staff. Yep. In Oakland County, that's Zotford and Holly. Massive new and all makes and models, pre-owned inventory. They have the vehicle you're looking for. Come in now and enjoy the Zotford experience. And that they're giving special treatment to Detroit Cast listeners. So go in and make sure you let them know you heard it here. Say hi to E. He's there when Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Dustin Facebooked me recently the other day. He said he got a truck over there and he got the Detroit Cast starter kit. He
did.
About that, yeah.
Oh, great. Nice. I don't know if they got the hats yet. Wasn't a hat supposed to be part of that? I went in there and I saw our shirts sitting there all signed and all that stuff, but I didn't see hats. So I don't know if he was waiting for the new logo or what, but yeah, why don't we call it a day for a Wednesday, but you can catch us tomorrow for an all new Thursday edition of the Detroit Cast.